Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
When it comes to one-year-old Mariah Cartavius, you are not.
Space, the final frontier. It's 5 years.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Happy Monday, everybody. You're listening to Now Trending right here on 24/7 Miami Radio. You can find us in a few places today at www.247miami.tv. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Now Trending 247. You can also find us on Twitter. Lots of things going on Twitter. Great, interesting stories constantly posting. And that's going to be at Now Trending 247. Today is Monday, October 23rd, 2017. Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday.
Thanks.
We are just great. You sound great. Your Grace Metal.
Thanks.
Were we interrupting something important today?
That Patriot victory hangover.
It is. So again, it is Monday, October 23rd. We are just, 8 days shy of Halloween?
Very good, Joy.
It is. 8's my lucky number.
Today's math lesson.
I can do math. I can.
Oh, shit, you could.
However, this month, again, it's just been one of those months, I think, with Irma leaving us a little over a month ago. It feels, again, this was like Hurricane Wilma when kind of like the hurricane spirit, the Halloween spirit was a little bit lost. Because I haven't seen much Halloween decorating. I think, we're all still trying to get back. I know we have moved on from Irma, but I think a lot of us are still picking up the pieces.
Oh, my God.
Except you. Were you Halloween shopping this weekend, Drew?
No.
He's scary enough.
It is.
Exactly.
Well, before we get started, so we can hear about your and Angie's meetup at the Target,
Ooh.
let's introduce the crew. I am Joy Canizero, your host of Now Trending. And to the right of me, I have the lovely Siobhan.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Great,
Wow.
Siobhan. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was going to bring fireworks, but
For the studio?
yes.
All right.
Nice.
Not allowed to light inside.
Exactly. Then we have the lovely Chris Metal joining us. How are you doing today, Chris Metal?
Obviously, I'm lovely. Thanks, Joy. How are you?
See? I'm very nice today.
Nice.
Aren't I?
Nice.
I am. Where else can we
Alright.
find you, Chris Metal, when you're not here and Now Trending?
ChrisMetalRadio.com and Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Chris Metal Radio.
He is all over the place. He gets around.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Nice. Should be a nice.
That's what she said.
Red light special.
Special, yeah.
Attention, shoppers.
Yes. Drew.
Yep.
Drew, like we call him, our bus driver, our pilot. What would you like to be today, Drew?
Depressed.
No, we're trying to. This is the place where we come to.
Because of all the teams my team had to lose to, they lose to the stinking Dolphins.
It is.
Did you say Dolphins, Drew?
Yep. Yes, the
Okay.
Dolphins.
He did. I know. I was thinking about you during that game yesterday, and
Me
I
too.
kind of, when the Jets were ahead and pummeling the Dolphins,
Pummeling.
I was like, "Go, Drew!" I was like, "That's
happy.
his team."
I was happy.
I was feeling great for you.
I was happy.
At the fourth quarter, when we were still behind, like 14 points.
I was happy.
You go online to Facebook. The whole neighborhood's already posting, Dolphins suck, Dolphins this, Dolphins that. I walk back out, come back inside, and here they won the game.
Yeah.
They
About
did.
right.
But it was our turn. We gave you guys the win last time.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you agree? We
I'll
gave you
give
the win
that.
last time?
I didn't know that's how football worked.
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
My
you know.
turn.
Well,
It is. And our lovely media person is over here. Angie, how are you doing today, Angie?
Hey, Angie.
Angela.
I was going to say, she knew it. She followed directions. Lou told her to speak
Hi.
into a mic.
Hi, how you doing?
So that is the lovely Angie joining us. So we just came back from the weekend. Anybody do anything exciting over the weekend?
Chris Metal Radio show on Saturday night. Pretty exciting.
I
Yeah.
gotta catch that.
All your voices are on the show. What? Not yours, Drew.
I
Just,
did not
just
give
like the
permission
girls.
for that.
Oh,
I smell a lawsuit.
Oh, readings.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, by doing the drops for me, that was like your consent.
Oh.
Got
Well, I
that?
mean, what do you think I was going to
I
use it
don't
for?
remember doing that. I think that was
I thought I
under
did remember
duress.
that, Under duress.
So again, you guys are listening to Now Trending, and we got lots of stuff to talk about. We've got the good, we've got the bad,
Done
we've
the
got
ugly.
the happy, we've got the
And
sad.
the ugly.
Yeah, the real ugly. I hope things don't get ugly today, guys. But you know it will.
Never a dull moment.
There isn't. Now, where was I? Hold on just a second here.
What?
Just because I wanted to start off with an update to the investigation of missing Sharon Matthews over in Texas. That's the 3-year-old child who was missing as a result of her father punishing her by putting her outside at 3 o'clock in the morning because she wouldn't drink her milk. Has anyone been following this story?
3 o'clock in the
I
morning.
just heard about it yesterday.
Yeah,
No.
3 o'clock in the morning.
I heard about it a while ago, but I didn't. She's missing?
Yeah, she's been missing since October 2nd. However, there was an update as of this past weekend. This is the latest update from this morning. So less than a mile from the Richardson home where a missing 3-year-old was last seen 2 weeks ago, officials on Sunday discovered the body of a young child. Police have not yet confirmed whether the body is that of Sharon Matthews, who has been missing since October 7th, but they indicated they have no reason to think that it's some other child. The medical examiner will determine the child's identification and cause of death. The indications are that it is most likely her. However, we have not had positive ID, is what the police have informed the press. The body was found at 11 a.m. in a culvert near East Spring Valley in South Bowser Roads, east of U.S. Highway 75, with the help of search dogs. So as I was saying, on October 7th, her father did call the police reporting that the 3-year-old child was missing as a result of him placing her outside at 3 a.m. in the morning because she wouldn't drink her milk.
Father of the year.
Oh, by far.
Did he actually admit this to the police?
This is
how much coaxing did he have to go through to reveal the whole story?
Right. And well, I mean, so far he's
Twist his
sticking right. So far he is sticking to that story. They did arrest him on child neglect and child abandonment. He did bond out. As it is right now, there is one other child in the home, which CPS has gone in and removed the child from that home until they moved further along in the investigation. So the girl's father is her adopted father, Wesley Matthews. Again, he was charged with abandoning and endangering a child after the child went missing, but he has bonded out. So now we're just waiting on the positive identification of this child, cause of death, to see the story. How do you call the cops and expect them to believe that you took a 3-year-old child and placed her outside at 3 a.m. because she wouldn't drink her milk?
And where is this?
And I want to say this, okay, as a
Texas?
child in Texas, it was over close to Dallas. And I as a child, my grandfather, one of his forms of punishment was putting us out in the backyard. You know, my grandfather wasn't a bad man at all. But if we needed a timeout, he would go ahead and put us out in the backyard.
But at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Not at 3. That's what I was just going to say. It was well lit outside. He wasn't putting us in the front yard. Again, his father put him out in the front yard. But I don't see how that would make common sense to anybody. For a 3-year-old child, wouldn't you think they'd roam, they'd wander, the story doesn't make sense, obviously. So I'm just trying to see from any of you all, does it make sense whatsoever?
Why would a child be awake at 3 in the morning?
She was drinking her milk. I don't know. That's all.
Okay, you
That
two
doesn't
you two have kids that were 3 years old at one point. Were they up at 3 o'clock in the morning?
No. And
Yeah.
I sort of wouldn't be feeding them water at 3 in the
Or
morning.
milk, right? It was milk. I mean, there's times, kids wake up. We're all human.
Yeah.
Wake up to go to the bathroom, wake up. But as far as an action, activity-wise, activity at 3
No,
a.m.,
they should be asleep.
you're walking. I could see, maybe going to the fridge to get a drink if you're thirsty, or to the bathroom. But to sit there with your child 3 a.m., and then, like I said, she wouldn't drink her milk, and you place her outside for punishment. It doesn't make sense. The activity doesn't make sense.
Well, not to make it really sentimental, but from my experience,
Right. Mm-hmm.
from my experience, there is that has to be an excuse of her not drinking her milk. That means there was other activity, other neglection, other things going on in that house that no one doesn't know. So he doesn't want to admit, and he doesn't want to get himself into more trouble at the fact that he was doing other things to that poor child, and including the fact that that was his daughter.
Right.
But
so
it's like, Joy, you wouldn't give your daughter or your son more water to drink at the middle of the night.
Right. If they wake up, I know,
That's
to go
ridiculous, especially at
to
3.
exactly at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Just,
Yeah.
that is a lie. It's a lie. I'm sorry.
So again, I guess we'll just have to wait for autopsy results to come back so we can see, you know, exactly the cause of death. But he was trying to make it like coyotes maybe have taken her body. This is what he tried. Yeah, like there was wild animals, there's this and that. But again, that brings up the argument. If you knew about these wild animals in the area, again, why would you put a 3-year-old child, outside for punishment? Or who would do that to begin with?
Well, there are some messed up people in the world.
There are. It's sad that they have found a body, and more than likely it's going to be the child.
Right.
Um,
Unfortunately, it doesn't take any license to be a parent.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't. Moving on to more exciting, fun news.
Oh boy.
Oh, great.
You guys ready?
Can we get to the happiest city already?
We're almost like here's where it goes.
Is today like a certain day or something like,
No.
Yes, it's
throw something out of the window day or
There
whatever?
was something. I don't know. There was a few. I didn't even check on it because they weren't that. It's National Boston Cream Pie Day.
Oh my God.
I know that. I know it's Boston Cream Pie Day today.
Boston
Like who makes up these things?
Any day could be Boston cream.
Somebody
pie
from
day.
Boston.
Right? Well, moving on.
actually, I have a Boston cream donut right there.
See, Andy is celebrating.
No, aren't you from Boston?
Again, moving on.
Close. Providence.
That counts.
He is, right? He's
Same
really
thing,
close. So
Close
moving
enough.
on to things that are stirring the country up at this time.
Come on, we're having fun.
I know. We didn't have that much fun on that last story. We only just
No,
started.
it wasn't fun.
But unwilling to put the tussling behind, President Donald Trump on Saturday jabbed back at the Democratic lawmaker who has slammed him for his words of condolence to a military widow, calling Representative Frederica Wilson wacky and contending she is killing her party.
Well, she is a little wacky.
A little?
I gotta say.
She ought to mind her business.
We're going to get into
Plain
that.
simple.
Right, we're going to get into that. Trump's broadside came a day after the White House defended Chief of Staff John Kelly after he mischaracterized Wilson's remarks and called her an empty barrel making noise. A Trump spokeswoman said it was inappropriate to question Kelly in light of his stature as a retired 4-star general. The fight between Trump and the Miami-Dade area Democrat began Tuesday after Wilson said Trump told the pregnant widow of a service member killed in the African nation of Niger that her 25-year-old husband knew what he signed up for. Wilson was riding with the family of Sergeant LaDavid Johnson to meet the body and heard the call on speakerphone. However, now the Congresswoman is even going as far as saying the attack that killed Sergeant LaDavid Johnson and 3 others is Trump's version of Benghazi. This morning, just to put it out there, the wife of Sergeant LaDavid Johnson did go on Good Morning America, confirming the representative's words that she, her accusations as far as the conversation went with President Trump. However, it is important to note that Mrs. Johnson, who is the wife, her family has been good friends with the representative for over 20 years. What do you guys have to say? First of all, how do you guys feel about the situation as far as the conversation from what we've heard?
It probably went the way he said it did. He just
Of who said it did?
Of the way that the representative and the family saying it did. Only because Trump's not going to remember the conversation.
But do you think?
And to be honest,
right?
To be honest, the way I personally understand what that sentence means.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
I understand what that statement means, and he may not have meant it in the way they took it.
Right.
However, it's not what you say; it's what they hear. So,
Right.
But I'm glad that you,
So-
feel that way also, because I see like when you're trying, you're giving condolences. First of all, he was a Green Beret. Not only was he, just a regular, sergeant, a private going into the Army,
Right.
he was a Green Beret,
Right.
which means, he's on special type missions that more than likely, there's a 50-50
Right.
chance. And over the weekend, I have asked servicemen and women that I know prior to entering the military, do they really make it clear that there is a great chance that you may be coming home in a box? Let's
Right.
put it that way.
I don't think anyone signs up for the military thinking that it's just going to be a fun vacation.
Right. But I mean, and soldiers are trained to kill. This is what, so I can see, I just, again, I don't, first of all, I feel he called in good faith.
Mhm.
Why would he make a call to go ahead and tick somebody off at this time of their life?
He probably didn't want to do it, to be honest with you. He probably didn't want to do it, but he probably felt he had to do it. So he did it. And again, I think he said what he said. However, how they understood or how they took it is what's upset them. It
Right.
doesn't mean he meant to upset them. It
Right.
just means that what he said upset them. And that's understandable.
Right. Because to me, those type of words are to try to take away pain.
Right.
They're not understanding that this death occurred. However, trying to make sense of it. Like,
Right.
Unfortunately, sweetheart, this is what he did sign up for. So there was a chance that this could have happened.
Right.
I can see that conversation taking
Right.
place. That makes sense to me.
And honestly, if after all this started up, if he just simply said, well, that's not the intent that I meant to say to her or whatever, blah, blah, it probably would have washed away. To be honest with you. But when you start defending it and start attacking back, and then you pull this guy out to tell something that was obviously a lie,
right?
Then you're making it more than what it is.
I agree.
There's no easy way to have this phone call, to make this phone call.
No.
Right, you're to a
Right.
widow or a parent or
Right.
something like that.
Right.
So this is how they have to say it to make it sound like, he died with honor, which he did, and all these things. There's just no easy way to talk about it. And as far as her eavesdropping or listening to it on speakerphone, that she shouldn't have had access to this phone call.
She was in the limo. Supposedly she was in the limo. They were all on their way. Now that was, I don't know if any of you all watched it. I believe I watched it on CBS it was the actual, him flying, his body being flown into Miami International Airport, and then them unloading his body. That was emotional. I think that every American should have to watch that before they speak, and maybe they'll understand what it is that we fight for, what it is that we, the reasons why there are issues and why we should be respecting things such as the anthem. She
politicized it and turned it into a racial issue.
She did. And
Absolutely.
I think it's disgusting. And
because she's just adding to the fire that's already going.
But here's the thing, and she's a representative of Miami-Dade County. And, if you go over, take a look at Miami Gardens, where she is 75% of the time, it's a bloodbath. Miami Gardens, every day, everybody's shooting each other, everybody's killing each other. Take care of that first before you open your mouth. I honestly think that her hat's wrapped too tight.
Again, it's where she was at the time and what they said at the time. So
I agree, but for her to make this type of, we have such big issues in this country, and for her to feed, what it's feeding, in my opinion, this racial fire, this racial fuel that's going, and I think it's just unnecessary.
I don't know if it was.
She made it worse. She made the racial divide bigger by making it a political issue.
I don't know if it did or did not.
Dude, she totally did, because
She
he
did. He
didn't
said it
mean
was
the empty
racist.
barrel comment was racist or meant in a racist way. She just blew it up like that. If she was white, or Hispanic or anything else, she
but at
wouldn't
the
have made
same
it an
time-
issue.
But at the same time, he lied. He barely told a lie that wasn't right. They have it recorded. So
He told a lie about what? What do you mean?
What he said? He said that she talked about herself during this dedication.
Well, that was General Kelly. That was
Right.
General Kelly
Well,
who
that's
said that
empty
she
barrel.
spoke, right, that,
He didn't want to say empty barrel, but so I don't understand why the back and forth needs to go back and forth. Just not what I meant to say. That's what I said, but they took it the wrong way.
Yeah, I think it's a low blow, though. I just think it's a low blow. And furthermore, there was also 3 other, Green Berets that were killed in the same attack.
Mm-hmm.
Their wives are, this isn't an issue for some reason with those families.
Well,
We have a comment from Mama Ross.
Yes.
Um,
Good.
and she
Jacqueline
said-
Ross, one of our biggest fans.
She said that she made this all about her.
She did at the end of the day. And where does it?
No, it didn't. She didn't make it about her.
But okay,
It
so
got
who is
turned
this
into
helping?
her.
But who is this helping with her comments saying, with her causing all this controversy at this time? Who does it benefit? Clearly, President Trump didn't call this grieving wife, this pregnant grieving wife, to be some a-hole and to ruin her day on the day that her husband's
called to ruin her day. But
I know, but
you and I both know the guy is not tactful.
Huh? I know, but to make this something, I just think that it's just been taken out of what it really is,
I think it's gone further than it needs to go.
and it's distasteful.
It has,
I think,
absolutely. It just needs to go away.
It just needs to go away.
and we're just under so much racial tension
It's
that
a
I
waste
just
of
think it's
time.
really disgusting of her.
Both of them, because now they're going back and forth.
I agree, but she
Like I
made the
said, if you
She
accusation.
started it, Drew.
But
She
she
got
started
the
the
ball
accusation.
rolling when she turned it into a racial issue. That's what
I don't
started
know
it. But you're defending her. I don't know why you're defending her.
I'm not defending
I hope it's
anything.
not for
What
certain
racial thing
reasons.
did she say? I
I'm serious.
Yeah.
don't. Okay, I must have missed something racial then. What she said.
It was, yeah, she did twist it to say like it was racial.
The empty barrel comment.
There
Something
was
like
a few
that.
things, and it is now it's Benghazi. But again, I think she did try to twist this into a racial issue, but it couldn't get that
She didn't
far
try,
because
she
there's
did.
no racial, you know,
Yeah, it's opinion.
evidence behind it. Yeah, but she did mention race.
So is yours,
Yes.
Droopy.
Yeah, that's why I got it. That's worth more than that. Anything else?
Siobhan, do you have anything else to add?
You should get rid of that stupid hat too.
Yes, that's what I would ask.
I think
It
that
looks like the Macho Man in the Slim Jim commercial.
I've got pictures.
Nah,
like
leave the
yesterday,
hat,
I've
leave the
got
hat.
so many pictures that I want to post later.
Don't forget about the hat, though.
No, but
But I
yesterday,
can't take her seriously either.
Can't.
not with the star. Yeah, not with the
She's got this
stars and
preacher's wife
glitter.
cowboy hat.
Leave the hat. Leave the hat.
Oh, she's
No, but
stands out.
She
seriously,
does not look like
It
a
screws
politician.
I have a
Stands
collection
out.
of pictures that yesterday it was who wore it best, and there was the Macho Man compared to her. There was Ralphie from the Christmas Story when he
Nice.
goes into his Red Ryder BB gun and he's got his. I've seen a lot. The cowboy from Pee Wee Herman.
Nice.
Some people keep posting her picture with that picture, and they're like, "Who wore it best?" So I think that's been
but nobody's taking her seriously as a politician.
right.
Because she's
No.
a joke.
Now she's a congresswoman, right? So would you now? This would be the one that you and I would fight over because you'd have to take her.
To interview her?
Yeah, would you?
Oh Lord, yeah,
Have
we
Drew
would
do
do
it.
rock paper scissors that one.
We would no, because there was a time not too long ago that we did have to interview a well-known politician who we don't agree with her views. And the moment we heard her name, Siobhan and I looked at each other and said, "You're doing
Interview
that." But it was a great interview. We kept politics
Tell
out
you
of
what, we should all interview her and all take a crack at her. And I know who's going to throw the softballs. Telling you.
I'd have to ask her a very
Would you wear a cowboy hat to interview her?
No.
I bring in Slim Jims.
Ooh, you.
Or
My Red Ryder BB
I was
gun.
going to say, bring a Red Ryder.
I'd have to ask her a very non-political question. Just to,
What's up with the
and
friggin' hat, lady?
Maybe and even something that would be like not serious but not political at all. So yeah, they would just totally avoid the topic.
It's awful.
It is. Okay,
She
let me
lives
go
at the church.
More than likely, yeah. So moving on, 65 pounds of marijuana arrived at a Florida couple's home with
Can I
an
get a hell yeah?
Amazon order. The customer and her fiance immediately noticed how heavy the 27
You
gallons of
skipped
storage.
like 5 stories. to
I
get to
did
this.
because we're running out of time. No, because I wanted to get to this one. We're
I
running
have
out of time.
Amazon Prime, so you let me know if that's the go.
Yeah, right. That's what. No, I did
Free
shipping because I want to get to the story we were talking to Danny about after this.
Oh, God.
So again, 65 pounds of marijuana did arrive at a Florida couple's home with their Amazon order. The customer and her fiance immediately noticed how heavy the 27 gallons of storage containers they ordered were. They said, "We love Amazon and do a lot of shopping with Amazon."
It really does it now.
And they were asked to be not identified. The couple said they noticed the strong odor of marijuana when they opened the containers. Amazon has issued a statement saying it worked with the customers to ensure their safety and will assist law enforcement investigating the case. Police seized the order and launched an ongoing investigation. No arrests have been made. I gotta tell you, Amazon gave them a $150 gift card.
Wow.
I read more into it, but Amazon's not taking. The people did call customer service first before calling the
called you?
cops.
How would that phone call go over?
Okay, send it to my house directly.
I know. I didn't work like all week, and I'm like, I wish I would have gotten that phone call. That would have been a great phone
Who
call.
was that? Hold on. Let me call you on my cell phone.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I'm calling right back. I'm calling right back. Hold on.
This is our VIP number.
No, that's not supposed to do. It's okay. I don't mind.
Our customer service address is.
Yeah, but I mean, it actually came in the boxes with their Amazon order, 65 pounds of marijuana. So,
The scary part about it is someone could show up at the house to come collect that.
well, that's just it.
That's
I
the scary
think that's there's that. Also, there was also. I'll tell you. Go ahead, Chris.
Do you keep some?
Huh?
Do you keep some? Like a brick?
No, not a dot. Because
Do you call the police?
someone's gonna show up at your house.
I agree. I think that's
That's
where,
true. Someone's going to show up
I
at the house.
think that's where a lot of
Probably
people.
not very friendly.
No, because you know what?
Exactly.
A lot of people first think, why call the cops? Why would you? But then, you know what? It could have been something that the cops sent. It could have been, just for an undercover investigate. Who knows? So I guess that's what would kind of make you think, you know what? Just go ahead and call the cops.
I wouldn't
Do the right thing, right?
Do the safe thing. I'm telling you.
Safety is get in your car and drive, change your identity.
Exactly. Moving to Nebraska. Let's go, everybody.
I mean, 65 pounds can get you pretty far.
Sky's the limit.
Hey, they got a short in California because all the wildfires. So
Now, I've got a special story for you guys. This was one we were discussing before you guys came in.
I didn't do it.
Because this may change your view on something that you all have all been familiarized with most of your lives. Your father probably had it when your mom was birthing you out. He was reading it in the waiting room. Playboy has announced
Playboy.
that they will feature the first openly transgender playmate in the magazine's 64-year history. Fox News reports that model Inez Rao will appear in the upcoming issue, which will also pay tribute to the late founder Hugh Hefner, who died earlier this month.
That's probably what killed him.
It won't be Rao's first appearance in Playboy. She previously posed for their May 2014 issue. However, this does mark the first time that a transgender woman will be a playmate. So that's a title that's given to women who appear in centerfold pictorial in each issue.
Oh no,
She on the cover?
She's in the month. Yeah, she's
gonna be centerfold.
She's the playmate of the month.
So she's on the cover of the magazine.
Playmate,
Yes.
playmate.
She's gonna be at the cover and in the middle. She was born a male, and she's now a female.
You guys gonna buy this issue?
Now, how does this?
I hope it has the plastic cover with all the black on the front, so you can't see anything.
But it looks like a woman's body.
You can just see the title of the magazine at the top.
Isn't it? Would you guys even say that it's a magazine you'd buy on air?
You know what? I got to be honest. I don't know if Drew would agree with this. Playboy was like my least favorite magazine of those adult nudes growing up.
Yeah,
there were too many articles,
and it was too nice.
Not enough pictures, and the pictures were beautiful pictures. They weren't like erotic pictures. They weren't sexy and dirty pictures, like Hustler, and my favorite Jugs.
I agree.
They were too tasteful.
I agree.
But that's what we were discussing before.
It was an
Another male.
elegant way of showcasing the.
And usually the Playboys you did get, it was the anniversary issue or someone you had to have kind of thing. But yeah, the regular issues.
They would
just say you guys didn't go and buy him. You just found him stashed in your house from some male that had him, and that's when you went.
They were mysteriously emailed to me from Amazon.
Yeah, I got it on Amazon.
They just showed up.
Does this change your view though about the magazine?
Not really.
The magazine's changed dramatically in the 64 years.
When's the last time you picked up a Playboy?
Must have been in high school.
Yeah,
seriously.
a while ago.
And like again, as much as I respect the magazine, and I thank Hugh Hefner to this day for starting this.
Yeah,
I don't even know what to call it.
Freedom.
This pornography empire.
Not pornography. He did it clean. He did it
classy. It is still
Because
clean.
it's clean and classy. That takes away from
Yeah,
classy
it wasn't like
pornography.
Classic way of showcasing, females in that environment. The other magazines were, created in the pit of hell. All the other ones,
right?
Because they were far away
but
from.
The Pit of Hell magazines must be still selling. It
They
seems
are.
like
They're
most
selling
of them are in-
hotcakes.
Yeah.
But the thing is Playboy was more of a magazine with articles in it.
Right. And that's what I was saying to
That
another
was just
man.
part of it with the pictures, and they weren't even detailed pictures. They're beautiful pictures. Don't get me wrong. The photo spreads, pardon the pun, were really good. They were. The girls were beautiful.
Well, how do you feel though now about having a transgender model? I mean, do you think like it's
I don't care.
that's a huge change for
I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner, because in 2017, if they didn't do it by now, LGBTQRSTUV, WX, whatever it is, would have sued them for not doing it earlier. And the ACLU would get involved, and the libs would get involved, and the safe places would vacate, and everybody would come out and protest that they didn't have it yet.
Okay, so now again, this is happening after Hugh Hefner's passed away. Do you feel that this decision was made, as after it's not a decision that he would have agreed with? Because it didn't happen. It didn't happen in all this time while he was on Earth.
Well, I'd say one, he probably really wasn't in control of the paper as much.
No, his son was. I think his son
his daughter
was part of the.
And two, it's not something they could just turn on a switch and say, okay, you're a month this month.
No, I know
think
that.
something was already in
Right,
place.
it is. It's planned. Usually they say it is right. They do say it is planned for years, but
So I'd say it would have still been published.
Do you think he would have approved?
This is just no. This is just another hodgepodge method of marketing.
He probably exactly. He probably liked it because it would have been the first.
He might have done it because everybody's doing this marketing to people.
Yeah,
it's like they absolutely have to do what everybody else is doing to get in the forefront.
That's what
in the
we
mainstream.
learned. That's what we did. I mean, haven't we watched commercials that don't even show the product?
But the thing is,
we know what product it is, and we're out ready to go buy that product.
Playboy can stand on its own without this extreme method of marketing. It's okay. It's fair because what they're doing, because it's all inclusive now. I guess you call it that, and it's not against all that side of that culture.
Isn't this just like a special niche kind of soft pornography, if you will? I mean, not everybody's into that.
It's like Cinemax, right?
Yeah.
Well, I never,
It's like
I never
lately Cinemax.
considered Playboy to be hardcore.
But no, I mean,
That's what
not-
she's saying. It's like
I don't
soft
think-
pornography.
No, it's not.
It
Right,
is.
but
Oh.
not everybody who would buy Playboy to see female models in certain types of undress are going to want to see a transgender model. It just seems like a niche to me.
I imagine there's going to be some negative aspect to it, but overall, every kind of advertising thing is going in that direction now, where they're including everybody in all types.
Right. But okay, what's the purpose that men look at Playboy? Besides the
For
article.
the articles.
Oh, no.
For the articles.
No. And if anyone
What do
on
you mean?
Facebook has anything to add, please add your 2
It's for the articles, right?
There is a comment
See, for
from
the articles?
Ross
Yes.
that
Yeah, it's for the articles.
what market is
Joke of the week,
what
right?
market is a transgender magazine supposed to reach?
Right.
But
what
this- but
market
this-
But it's
is-
not a transgender.
But it's not a transgender magazine.
Right.
It's
It's just
not.
a transgender.
They're
Right.
just featuring a transgender
But
person.
but you're branching out into
Right.
that market. So what market is that?
That
And that's
market.
what
Adult entertainment.
yeah,
I mean,
we're-
that's all they stood for
It
anyway.
is, but
But people- some people are
who's
gonna-
the viewer of it though.
some people are gonna
Who
buy
is-
Some people are going to buy it because it's the first one.
Yeah,
That's a
but that's
Playmate.
not
Are you?
someone who's
Should I buy them free for Christmas? If I buy you guys
Yes,
this
buy it,
issue
buy
for
it.
Christmas,
Hell, buy it. Buy it. Buy it.
our other question is not to take it like too raunchy, but you've just done your business with, like most guys look at the magazines, do a little bit of business, but then you find out that this was once a man. How do you?
You're not gonna.
I think you're gonna know if you happen to read the cover.
You're not
Or
gonna.
if you
How
have
do
to
people
read
read the covers?
the table of contents on like the second or third page
no.
after the first 2,
You
3
flip right
ads.
to the
Table of
centerfold.
contents?
That's the whole point of having the centerfold. Is right in the center. You flip right to
But
it.
I think that they're gonna
Likes
they're
and
gonna,
dislikes.
they're gonna
Like, what?
sensationalize the fact on the cover with some sort of thing at the top left, or top
Yeah.
right, or right across the lower
The
third.
blacked out part.
You know,
So
in
let's say
big letters.
Going forward, this becomes a regular thing that Playboy does,
Right.
featuring a transgender model, and they don't point out which
Then-
one is
Great question.
But
transgender.
Then-
isn't there like
But then that becomes less special.
Does it?
I
They're
think
just
so.
being all inclusive.
this
But
one
but
being the
you-
most
you're-
unique one because it would be the
Right.
first
Your
one.
circulation went from 7 million to less than 1 million.
I doubt this sort
It's
of
not
thing is
gonna-
going to go mainstream with Playboy.
Yeah.
I really don't think they will.
We're in
If they're
2017.
being all
True,
inclusive,
but with everything that you go out, if you walk into a porn shop and you see the wide variety of all different things,
The last thing you
animals
look at
and
is
little
Playboy.
people and all sorts of things, there should already be a periodical of some type for transgender people.
yeah, I'm
There's
sure
yeah,
there
this
is.
guy.
You know,
And this
it's
is
like-
this. I feel that this is their way of testing that market, and we may just see a transgender Playboy.
They want to
You might
get
see one for
they want to get
Christmas.
more readers and more subscribers because their numbers
We're in
have
a new
dwindled
world.
in
Yeah.
Right,
recently
and we're
because
in a new world. It's a
magazine,
magazine.
everything's online
Right.
now. You know what I mean? So
it's free.
they're reaching out to people. They'll probably drop the price. You know, anything to get people
Offer
to buy a
specials.
copy.
I
Now-
gotta just say, if I'm at a Chippendale show, I don't want to find out that one of the dancers I've been ogling
It used to be
a
Mary.
woman.
Right. It's Christine and Mary up there.
I
Well, it doesn't matter.
See,
Oh,
I don't
rubber
want to find this
dongs.
out.
So, wait. But,
Patrick Swayze, Chris Farley,
Yeah.
best scene ever.
yeah, it was.
You know,
one of the top 10. One of the top 10s.
It's just, I think, go ahead.
All right, so Mama Ross says, do straight guys want to see the transgender pics?
Right. That's what we're
You
trying
know
to
what?
get at.
I'll
Is it
tell you. Okay, I'll tell you.
something- Right. Do
Okay.
straight, and will a straight man give us a
I feel like
I'll-
we're avoiding.
I'll give you a
answer.
true answer. Here's a true answer. For curiosity, you're gonna look. You're gonna see if you can see it. You're gonna look. Once you look and once you see it, once that's done, then there's no interest into it.
I'm
what if you're turned on by her?
I'm
Then you turned on by
saying
it.
no right now for the rest of the straight men out there.
Thank
I'm
you.
saying no
I'm telling you, this is
because
gonna
there's
sell.
plenty of magazines out there that have that sort of content that is way better than Playboy.
Yeah.
You can get
It's true.
all the other ones, all the above, Hustler, which
Okay.
is a great penthouse.
Please, you can get on your
They get
phone.
way more deep. They get way deeper than Playboy does with
He
the
said deeper.
detail. Yeah, I'll pardon the pun on that one. And they don't showcase that sort of thing in those other magazines. So a
This
guy,
could
be
be
like
the
Drew
start.
or myself, could go into in one of those shops, buy a magazine from one of those companies, knowing
Those shops.
we know what we're gonna get.
Right. So
Playboy, you don't know what you're gonna get because they're like Rolling Stone without the music part. Because they have the topics and the issues almost like now trending. They talk about whatever's kind of going on current events.
I like how he compared us to.
We are
Hey.
like,
Because we're not
we're
trending.
the Playboy of internet radio.
If only we have the customers.
Yep. Send $1 to.
You guys are like the classic porn.
Soft porn.
the other
I prefer
magazines-
soft porn. Cinemax soft porn.
The other magazines are more direct. You're not going to get that from them.
Well, but
Yeah.
the thing is that what if this is opening a door to those other magazines?
They've already opened.
I don't,
already
think,
have,
I don't
right?
think they
But
want
they
that
do have
branch. They
sections.
don't want
And-
that
and
branch
they're-
of customers.
and
They-
they're-
But if you look,
And
at
they probably have a bigger subscription than Playboy does. To be honest with you.
'cause you know what you want to get when you go out and buy those magazines.
Yeah.
So you're
Looking
going to
for
stay
that.
away from the magazines. They're going to bring up issues of going on today and politics and all that other BS. You're going straight up for porn. You want extreme porn. You want dirty porn.
Yeah.
At
We're
least
not
we
gonna
all
get
know
this
now what
topics.
type of porn Chris Metal likes.
You gotta have the straight men. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Here we have it from lewd and lascivious Chris Metal. I just
Meadow.
You guys ready to take a break?
Yeah,
With
I was
that
just about to
being
say, why
said-
are we taking a
It's a
commercial?
little
All right,
hot in
wait,
here.
yeah. It is. Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, you're going to find out where the happiest city in America is. Can't wait to hear that one. I'm ready to pack my bags. So make sure you stay tuned right here to 24/7, or now trending on 24/7 Miami Radio.
Quinn, and you're on 24/7 Miami.
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Couch, and we're coming to you now live on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock with your favorite segments like Simple Jack and W Dubai Knows It All. Catch us every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. live on 247miami.tv.
We talk about sports.
And other things.
Like what? W eating chips. I can't put these chips down. 247miami.tv.
The Couch.
Hello, everyone. This is Drew from Now Trending. And usually I'm driving the bus in the show, keeping it from riding off on the rails. Every Monday from
4 to 6.
on 247miami.tv.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy from The Roy O Show. Just letting you know, guess what? The Roy O Show, it's back, baby. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be Prosper, O, and yours truly covering everything. Sports, TV, entertainment, comics, Walking Dead, you name it, we're talking about it. Join us this Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. only on 247miami.tv.
It's now trending. Make sure you catch a new episode every Monday from 4 to 6 on 247miami.tv.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday.
Join me, Siobhan, every Sunday for the latest episode of Day by Day. From Alzheimer's Awareness Month to International Bacon Day, find out what's happening this week and how these observances got started.
Each day.
Because each day counts.
Day by day. By day.
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio. Oh, boys! I'm back!
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy from The Roy O Show. Just letting you know, guess what? The Roy O Show, it's back, baby. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be Prosper, O, and yours truly covering everything. Sports, TV, entertainment, comics, Walking Dead, you name it, we're talking about it. Join us this Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. only on 247miami.tv.
Out trending every Monday from
4 to 6.
on 247miami.tv.
This is Chris Metal here for Now Trending, coolest show on 247miami.tv. Join us every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Joey Canizero, your host, Drew Dawkins, Siobhan, and Chris Metal. Every Monday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern on 247miami.tv.
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hiya, this is Harley Quinn, and you're on 24/7 Miami. Wee! Wahoo! Whoopee! Yes, yes, yes!
And we're back here now, trending on 24/7 Miami Radio. Again, you can find us at now 24/7.
Where are we?
We're everywhere. YouTube. We're
Take two, start over.
Are we?
Sure, we'll start over and go.
Oh, right. Thanks. Even though we're live, let's just stop live.
Yeah, let's start over.
And move forward. So you can find us at 247miami.tv. You can also find us at facebook.com/nowtrending247, as well as Twitter at nowtrending247. So Siobhan has got all kinds of news for us. Political.
Well, it's not really political.
Not that bad political, but
and if it's political, it's out of the country.
It does.
Okay.
Shoot.
So first of all, the 5 living former presidents got together this weekend to raise funds for the hurricane relief. They have been having this hurricane relief drive since September 7th and reach out for Houston, and now it's continued through Hurricane Maria. So I got to say, I'm looking at this picture of all 5 presidents together. I don't know what I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts going on as I look. Poor HW. He looks like he's
got
I don't think he's going to parachute on his birthday this year.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of Alzheimer's.
I just feel like they should have posted a better picture. I'm sure.
I don't think there's a better picture.
I'm surprised the
Oh dear, he looks like death. He looks like he's dead in his wheelchair.
I'm surprised the liberals didn't get on him for not standing during the national anthem.
No, they wouldn't have been. They were the conservatives.
I think we should for him. I'm not a fan of him.
Anyway, but they
throw him out of his chair, his wheelchair.
He's a veteran.
Shots fired.
This relief concert was the first time since 2013 that all 5 living former presidents have been together, which is kind of weird to say because 2013 Barack Obama was not a former president at the time. But needless to say,
I think was Nixon still alive?
No, not in 2013.
Somebody. So I don't mind that.
No. Anywho,
of
because Carter won't die.
Reagan was
Ronnie?
alive in 13.
It was somebody else, wasn't it?
No.
You're thinking, I'll tell you. I see his face right now.
Okay. Grammy Award winner Lady Gaga made a surprise appearance at the concert that also featured country music band Alabama, Lyle Lovett, and a bunch of people I don't know.
But you know what? When I was little, Alabama was the ish.
I know Alabama.
Funny.
I know Alabama. I know Lyle Lovett, but some of these
And
other
I've seen them in
names-
concert as little. I've met them. My grandmother had access to the Broward County Fair. They used to come every year, but it's just funny, Alabama. I can't believe
They're
still
great. Great
Yeah.
band.
Go ahead.
So as of today, the former presidents, have raised $31 million for hurricane relief. So yay, go former POTUSes. That's all I have to say about that. I like saying POTUS.
Isn't it right, POTUS?
Anyhow, okay.
POTUS.
So up next, I feel like this is kind of a complicated. In my mind, it seems complicated. So if you guys have information to make it less complicated, that would be awesome.
Sure.
But okay, so Saturday, Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy announced his plans to dissolve the Catalan Parliament under a never-before-used article of the Constitution, vowing to remove the region's elected leaders as soon as possible and hold new elections. It is the most serious threat he has made since Catalonia held an independent referendum on October 1st. And the referendum was not seen as legitimate at all. Madrid dismissed the vote as illegal, but Catalan leaders saw it as a mandate to announce a split from the country. So basically, this area of Catalonia wants to separate from the rest of Spain, and Spain is not having it.
That's the side of Barcelona.
Right, exactly.
But what is Spain without Catalonia?
So, but in reaction to this,
Western Spain.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, a lot of riots and protests are breaking out in the region. People are being arrested. And I'm trying to get to the end of the article because it talks about, which I think is also very important. The uncertainty, businesses have already started to move their legal headquarters out of Catalonia. According to a tweet on Friday, over 1,000 companies began that process on October 2nd through the 19th. So, not only is it a political issue, it's also economic. All these countries are choosing to uproot because I'm sure they just don't want to get in the middle of all this that's going to unfold. And it's just starting. I think we're just starting to see the how this is going to unfold. But I kind of imagine, is that what would happen if Texas decided, Later days,
I'm
USA.
just thinking that. I don't remember when Rick Perry was governor, they wanted to secede from the
They
nation.
wanted to. Well, look at Brexit. Well, Brexit still hasn't.
Yeah, but
Well,
Brexit
this-
was
this
already
will-
its
this
own
will-
country,
right,
leaving
yeah.
like, but yeah, that had its own rockiness
That's out of
associated
the
with it too.
European Union.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, many states in the U.S. threatened the same as Texas. That's one of them that has done the same. But you know what really happened in that case, where they become their own, detached
No.
from the United States of America? Is it really a smart move?
Well,
You know what will happen is you end up having civil war, but two, they would need to produce their own money, which means they need to have their own
They're going to go to war.
currency.
Catalonia is going to get smoked, and then call on Spain to help them out.
Well, Catalonia, if they leave Spain, is going to not be part of the European Union. So, I mean, there's those implications as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Cut it up high.
From what I've read. I mean, that may change. Maybe that's part of the negotiation, that they'd stay with the European Union. But as of now, from what I've read, they will not be part of the EU. So, anyway.
Well, they're not. If they're their own country, they're not part of it. They have to be accepted into it. So
Exactly. They're not just automatically absorbed. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting story to follow. It's been going on for, as we noted, a few weeks now, but I just started hearing about it this weekend. So yeah.
Well, I mean, what would happen if the people voted on it? Like, what would happen?
They did vote on it.
They did vote on it, but Spain doesn't recognize it as a.
Then they can't do another vote then.
Have to just break off, secede basically, and I guess go to war.
So the central government in Madrid, they rejected the vote.
Exactly.
They
said it was an illegal referendum.
It's ridiculous.
So I don't know. And it's something that is going to be very interesting to
It
watch.
is interesting to follow and to see if other countries, other states
follow suit.
Yeah. Once they see it's done one way that it can be done, how these people did it,
I guess it depends on how it works out for Catalonia.
Right.
Anyway, so let's talk about the happiest cities in the United States.
Oh boy.
National Geographic.
Flint, Michigan.
No.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in Michigan is going to be on that list.
So National Geographic best-selling author Dan Buettner and the Gallup social scientists teamed up to develop an index that assesses measurable expressions of happiness and identifies where Americans are living their best lives. However, I don't know what those measures or that index looks like, but here are the results. There are 25. I'll tell you, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach are not in the top 25.
No way.
Get it out of here.
Say again, what?
Pines in the top five.
Austin, Texas is number 25.
Is that good or bad at the end?
These are the happiest cities.
These are the
25
happiest.
being the least happiest out of
Out of every city in the United States.
These are the 25
And
happiest.
Miami didn't even make the list. So.
I believe that. We're far from making the list.
Yeah.
I want to recount.
See, this is an illegal referendum.
Exactly.
Portland, Maine, San Diego, number 23, which I love San Diego.
What number was Portland, Maine?
Portland, Maine, 24.
Okay.
Minneapolis, St. Paul area, Washington, Arlington, Alexandria.
What?
I like Washington, D.C.
Oxnard, Thousand
I used to live
Oaks,
there.
which is
Not
funny. Well, it's a nice place. Manchester, New Hampshire.
Nice.
Colorado
English.
Springs, Colorado. 18. San Francisco, Oakland, Hayward, number 17.
San Francisco made the list.
Oakland.
Yeah.
Oakland made the list.
Well, it's the Bay Area. San Francisco, Oakland. Yeah. Number 16, Ann Arbor, Michigan. So close to Flint, maybe?
Well, it's not too far from the same state.
Number
Neither water's
15,
clean.
Honolulu, Hawaii.
I can go for other islands in Hawaii.
They have Spanish.
Honolulu.
Yeah, Honolulu is
like South Beach.
way too touristy.
Yeah, it is. Honolulu and Waikiki is just like South Beach.
Spam.
Stitch lives over there?
Yeah.
Does the Stitch live over there?
No, he lives in Oahu.
Huh?
Right, but that's on the
Lives in
same
Oahu.
island, and that's on the
Same
same
island.
island, same island, but on the north side.
Yeah. No,
The nice peaceful side, not where
where the
it's like
humans are.
South Beach.
Where the humans are on the other side. Yeah.
Number 14, we finally get to one in Florida.
No way.
Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Bradenton.
I like Sarasota.
Didn't this get wiped off by a hurricane that long ago?
No. Number
Still
three.
have
Well,
this.
that's what's interesting. As we get further on the list, I wonder when this was actually completed. Because so number 13 is Salinas, California. Me being from that area, I don't get it. I would not be happy living in Salinas, but that's another story. Number 12, Santa Maria, California, Santa Barbara area. Back to number 11. Again, we're in Florida, Naples, Marco Island.
Wow.
Again, yes, it wasn't wiped off the map.
Nobody lives there. Nobody lives there.
Why that happen?
But retired folks. And when you
Oh, the
put
sweet people
Naples,
that left there, they're happy.
Naples and
They're happy all the
Naples
damn
and
yuppies
Marco
are gone.
Island, right? That's I mean, yeah, it's a happy place because again, it's nothing but retired folks.
Here-
In Naples and Marco Island.
Golf courses.
I got my medication. I'm happy.
Here we have reached the top 10. Here we go. Number 10, Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All five
Because you're
people agree.
frozen. Your feelings are frozen.
No,
to be happy.
you have to
Like,
have a piece of with the kids on heat.
Yeah.
Happy.
Really, Alaska, the happiest place.
Number
Some people
10.
like the wilderness.
Number 9, Barnstable Town, Massachusetts, which is
Nice.
Cape
These
Cod
cold
area.
places.
Yeah, New England, baby.
Cape Cod. Here's another New England, Bridgeport, Stamford, Connecticut. I would not include Bridgeport in that, but
No.
Stamford. Okay.
Bridgeport, no. Complete
I will.
opposite ends of the spectrum.
I spoke to a
Bridgeport,
lady though. I spoke to a lady on the phone the other day who was in Connecticut who like tried her hardest to get over the phone to move to Connecticut and become a teacher.
Stamford is great. Stamford, Greenwich area is great.
Right.
Bridgeport, no.
No, Bridgeport's
Well, it depends on where you're.
Bridgeport's dumb.
Bridgeport's not bad.
Mm. Number 7, Provo, Utah. I'll leave it at that.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd be happy with 7 wives if I was a
on the
male.
list.
Number 6. Number
No, you
6
didn't, because then they were all pissed at you.
is my hometown where I was born and raised, San Jose, California.
Go Sharks.
Go nuts. What are they?
That's
the
Live Oak.
acorns.
Oh, the acorns.
The mighty acorns.
But this is the capital of Silicon Valley. And they see 300 days of sunshine each year. Are you guys laughing at
Go
me?
nuts.
No, we're laughing at your high school motto.
Team.
To all, for whoever's wondering why we're laughing, can we say it real fast?
Let's go.
Real fast.
Siobhan's mascot in high school was the mighty acorns.
I'm wearing acorns.
And their chant was "Go nuts!"
Go
Yes,
nuts.
go nuts!
It's true. Because
I
we
love
were
it.
Live Oak. We had a lot of
What they
potential.
say? Touch nuts? What?
Wow.
What?
What high school did you go to?
Hey.
Okay,
Nice.
we've made it to number 5. Number 5. Once again, San Luis Obispo, California, or as the locals like to call it, SLO.
But how is San Luis Obispo?
Yeah, it's nuts.
SLO. No, it's actually a college town, pretty much.
What college?
San Luis
San Luis
Obispo.
Obispo.
Sorry, never heard of it.
Cal State,
I always-
SLO.
They don't play Alabama every year.
No,
so
but
yeah,
I
never
just
heard of it.
always, in my mind, San Luis Obispo was kind of like the Miami of California, like kind
No,
of like
not
a
at all.
area-
No.
No, we have a California expert in the studio.
Yeah, no, I know,
You what
yeah.
mean?
It's winery, sand dunes, and the
Okay.
coast.
It's
Hey,
winery. It's
I'd be
winery.
happy there.
Number 4,
Four.
Fort Collins, Colorado, or as the locals call it, Fort Fun. But it is also
No, no,
a
no.
college town.
No, no, it's
Certain things are legal over there.
it's
So.
fun.
Yeah, exactly. It is also a college town, though,
Fort
so
Fun.
take note of that. Number 3,
Domino's Pizza.
this is very interesting to me, Charlottesville, Virginia.
Okay.
That's why I
lives
said,
there.
well, that is
People love the South.
I'm writing this down though. Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm gonna check that one
It's on the
out.
Waltons.
My uncle lives.
It's on the Waltons. It's famous.
Isn't that where the
No, that's
protests
where the protests
happened?
were, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but the
Scratch that off the list.
Exactly.
I'm
That's
trying to find a happy
That's
city.
not a
already.
happy place.
Oh, that was solved.
I'm trying to find a happy city, and I'm like
Okay.
writing down the names.
Now, number 2 and number 1, I have lived very close to both cities. They are both college towns, and they are both very hippie.
I'm striking
Like.
out, except for the hippie lake.
So, number 2 is Santa Cruz, California, the home of the banana slugs. That's their college.
Okay.
That's their
Ugh.
college
Where
mascot.
does California get their mascot? Like the name of their
No,
mascot.
no.
Wait, if you watch Pulp
I got an
Fiction, John Travolta wore the banana slugs T-shirt in Pulp Fiction. Yes, that's from Santa
That means
Cruz.
right.
Santa Cruz University. Yeah. Okay, so number 2, number 1, Boulder, Colorado. Colorado,
Something legal over
Boulder,
Colorado.
hippie town.
there.
There are certain things legal in both Colorado and California that I think add to their happiness.
Let's insert bong noise here.
If you notice, right? But if you notice, like most of the places, first of all, are like kind of cold places. Either really cold.
Not the California ones.
True, but it still gets cold. There's nothing, like Florida, where we're just sweltering hot every day,
All the time.
all the
Can I point out
time.
something? I think, what was it, like the 20 or the 24 allowed marijuana
Right,
recreational?
a lot of them are pot legal states. However, Washington, I'm surprised Washington, Maybe Seattle.
Seattle wasn't on there, yeah.
Seattle or
Well, Seattle's like
surprised by.
depressing.
Seattle's
That's
already
not, but
raining.
it's-
Yeah,
Some
it's
people
depressing.
aren't into that, you know.
I
The
guess.
highest suicidal rate.
Once in a while, it's okay, but every day.
But San Francisco is on there, and that has the highest suicide rate on the Golden Gate Bridge. So people are not happy there either.
Sanctuary City, that's why.
But no, it is noted that the top 4 of the top 5 are marijuana friendly states.
Yeah. I wonder if that makes a difference. But then also, like I said, the cold weather. It's just
people grew up in that. They were born into it, and that's all they know. Some people never leave home or never leave the region. So it's just part of life for them.
Cold weather does not make me happy.
I grew up in the Northeast. I lived up there for 30 years before I moved here.
Right. That's just
we knew winter was 10 or 11 weeks long. Sometimes it dragged on a little bit longer. Sometimes it was intense with the snow and the ice.
10 weeks.
Other times it was mild.
Yeah.
2.5 to 3 months.
More like 6.
Exactly.
No, yeah, okay, because it's a little chilly in October, November, and February and March. So December and January are the worst, probably the coldest months. February being the coldest. But it passes in a few months. It's over.
See me, I've been a native South Floridian all my life, and I sit here wondering, like, how do people live that way?
Like this. Some people don't know why I moved here. They say they can't take the heat.
You just keep shaking.
How does one? And I've thought of moving, to other places, and maybe it gets cold. But then I think when winter comes, like, how does one live that way? How does one?
You gradually get into that temperature because it just doesn't go from one day being 80 to 35.
Right, but when it snows, how are
you
you supposed to function and go to work? Like, how does it all work?
You bundle up. You wear layers.
Last year, I went to Georgia with my family, and it was like freezing cold.
I'm dumbfounded.
I tried to look for every little corner with some heat.
Yeah,
because I'm like, where is the sun?
No, but think about when we get a cold front here. Okay, this week it's supposed to get down to what, like the 60s?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Wow. Like I'm boarding the
down
house
to
up.
That's ridiculous. Down to every time I say
State
that.
of emergency.
And then along with that, so am I. I'm getting the wood out. We're gonna so the fireplace going.
Where am I supposed to evacuate now?
I am looking forward to that.
Every time I talk to people from home,
right?
I say, "Oh, it's going to get down to 60." And they get down to 60. They can't believe it.
Yeah.
That we freak out down here that it's going to get cold, and they say 60. Is that cold? Really cold?
No.
Yeah.
It was like last.
Yes.
You know what?
Yes.
Last year, yesterday, I was in Washington D.C.
I remember that.
And that's when the weather had just changed. But my mom and I are up there. I mean, you could tell we're the South Floridians because everybody. It was like down in the 60s. Like it was freezing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was 60. Like going to the 50s. But residents who live there are in tank tops and they're walking around. And here my mom and I are like
freezing,
bundled up like there's a snowstorm outside. We look like snowmen traveling down Washington D.C.
Well, I see on Facebook my friends' pictures.
Those are Miamians. They're from South Florida. From South Florida.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how one operates in those type.
You run outside. You turn your car on, and you run back in the house.
Yeah, let it run for like half an hour.
And if you do that in certain neighborhoods down here, you come back out of the car. You can't do that. Back home, you can trust a lot of people.
It's too cold to be outside still.
Okay, listen. That's my question too. That's been one of my questions, like living down here too. Does our weather down here really get cold enough to where we're the ones who have to start the car first to let it warm up?
You run up there to cool it off. You run up there to turn the AC on.
But I feel like an idiot. Like, you know what? I have gone out. Listen, when it gets cold, like low 60s, 50s, like I've gone out and you start the car. Only because I follow the things like people up north and they say like it's cold and you gotta let the car warm up. South Floridians.
No, you don't have to do that in South Florida.
You're not going to freeze walking out to your car.
I do freeze when we have cold.
You only freeze when it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. By like afternoon, by 1 o'clock, it's already like in the 70s, going to the 80s.
What's the correct temperature?
I've got the windows open when it's 60.
What's the correct temperature that you should go outside and you have to
anything below 50 or
30.
30.
20.
Yes, I was gonna say.
I just want to know.
Water freezes at 36,
32.
32.
You warm up
around that time.
You warm up the car so your defrosters are on, and they're melting the ice and snow on the windshield. So you can move the windshield wipers so you can see.
Wait, meanwhile, you're out in the back hacking off the ice with the back window.
Yeah, you got a thing in a car called a scraper.
Yeah.
They're talking about ice scraping, and I'm talking about heating my car up in South Florida.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to do it.
There's no reason why you would have to run outside in Florida to warm your car up.
I wouldn't feel like
you might have to.
Cold weather.
No, you don't.
Yeah, we got to send you up to New England in January.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I've got, but the last time I've seen
Listen to me.
I was like 15.
Listen to me. You're not missing a damn thing.
No, I know. Well, all my family's up north, and my dad, he was, he made it clear when he was 18 that he was out of New Jersey, and he always, and he says it to this day, I won't go back unless it's for a wedding, funeral, or family reunion.
That's right.
And that's how it is. I mean, and all of my family has lived up there. We were the only real like
I
South
escaped.
Floridians. My mom, same thing as well.
Look at me, I escaped.
I know you did, yeah. But did you escape because of the cold weather?
Yes. Here's a story. Here's a quick story. Long story short, I used to work at a place called Annapolis Mall. Those you know that, they know that. It was exactly, I mean, I could close my eyes and count 45 minutes from my house to from my house to Annapolis Mall. Exactly. So it was always the same. One day it snowed. It started to snow before I left the mall to go home. I got home. I left the mall at 10 o'clock. I think I got home around 3:30, 4 in the morning because it was that bad snow. And I said, Lord, if you get me out of this, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And the next chance I got, I was out of there because it was that bad. This is before cell phones.
Because you have to wait for the roads to clear. Like, you have to, in some cases, if it snows real bad.
Yeah, you
like,
have
to wait for the plows to come by and plow the street.
You could be trapped in your house. We were trapped in our house for a week once.
Like, yeah, have you ever opened the door and like the snow's up too?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We put food out on the porch because it's easier.
I keep my beer out on the fridge.
To keep colder outside.
I'm so amazed by your stories. I feel like I'm speaking with like aliens, like a new form of life.
It's bad.
It is you who are the alien.
My car is.
If you ask me how to get tar off your feet from the beach, I mean, I'll tell you, gasoline.
But you know, my car's
never heard of that. You're the pee on them or something like that, is that?
That's jellyfish things.
Okay.
Jellyfish things you pee on.
No, you
right?
don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Let me tell you, Joy. My car sits so low that it would snow sometimes, and the bottom of my car would freeze to the ground. I'm not kidding. I had to.
And then what about your water pipes? Now I've heard like, okay, you gotta have like your water pipes. You let them run so water doesn't freeze.
Right,
How does that work? See, I don't know anything about
leave it dripping.
Life. I wouldn't know what to do.
Yep.
You would know if you grew up in it. You would know what
you'd be one of those who they'd find later.
And she'd have her Miami towel wrapped around her.
It's like I said before, when my little sister moved up to New Jersey, she's always been a Southeastern girl. She moved up to New Jersey, and they were having their first blizzard. And she's calling us, and she's like, do I tape up the windows? She was putting water in the bathtub. I mean, she was totally on complete hurricane
head.
Yeah, she was complete, but it was a blizzard coming. So she called my dad. My dad died laughing and told her what to do.
That's so funny. Tape up the windows.
She put water in the bathtub, too. She filled
that doesn't work even for hurricanes.
I saw this really cool thing, but we'll talk about it when we come back because we have to go to break right now. So we have sports coming up when we come back. You are listening to Now Trending on 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hiya, this is Harley Quinn, and you're on 24/7 Miami. Wee! Wahoo! Whoopee! Yay! Yay! Yay!
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hey, it's the guys from the couch, and we're coming to you now live on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock with your favorite segments like Simple Jack and W. Dubai Knows It All. Catch us every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. live on 247miami.tv.
We talk about sports and other things. Like what? W eating chips. I can't put these chips down. 247miami.tv. The couch.
Hello, everyone. This is Drew from Now Trending. And usually I'm driving the bus in the show, keeping it from riding off on the rails. Every Monday from
4 to 6
on 247miami.tv.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy from The Roy O Show. Just letting you know, guess what? The Roy O Show, it's back, baby. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be Prosper, O, and yours truly covering everything. Sports, TV, entertainment, comics, Walking Dead, you name it, we're talking about it. Join us this Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. only on 247miami.tv.
It's Now Trending. Make sure you catch a new episode every Monday from 4 to 6 on 247miami.tv.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday.
Join me, Siobhan, every Sunday for the latest episode of Day by Day. From Alzheimer's Awareness Month to International Bacon Day, find out what's happening this week and how these observances got started. Because each day counts.
Day by day by day.
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy from The Roy O Show. Just letting you know, guess what? The Roy O Show, it's back, baby. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be Prosper, O, and yours truly covering everything. Sports, TV, entertainment, comics, Walking Dead, you name it, we're talking about it. Join us this Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. only on 247miami.tv.
Out trending every Monday from
4 to 6
on 247miami.tv.
This is Chris Metal here for Now Trending, coolest show on 247miami.tv. Join us every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Joy Canizero, your host, Drew Dawkins, Siobhan, and Chris Metal. Every Monday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern on 247miami.tv.
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hiya, this is Harley Quinn, and you're on 24/7 Miami. Wee! Wahoo! Whoopee! Yay! 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 Hiya, this is Harley Quinn, and you're on 24/7 Miami. Wee! Wahoo! Whoopee! Yay! Yay! Yay!
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hey.
Oh yeah, I thought you were a vegetarian meal.
Yeah, that's horrible too.
No. Welcome back to Now Trending on 24/7 Miami Radio. Again, you can find us at 247miami.tv, facebook.com/Now Trending 247, as well as Twitter, Now Trending 247. So we were just having a little discussion on vegetarian meals. So that's where a good vegetarian meal is good once in a blue moon, I think.
I made a good vegetarian baked ziti. It was awesome.
That was
It
our
has
break
spinach
discussion.
in it.
Wait a minute.
Wait, I don't see it around here anywhere.
Baked ziti is just like ziti with
no meat,
cheese on it and stuff.
It is, but I
Yeah,
asked
it's
her if
got
there was meat
spinach
because
in it.
sometimes you like if I make baked ziti, I make like homemade meatballs to go with it. Like, so I didn't know if it came with.
No, it has spinach in it, so it has something else besides cheese.
Iron.
But there is a lot of cheese.
As my brother-in-law says, iron.
Lots. Anyway.
Can't say iron.
So sports coming up. We've got lots going on in sports this week.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's that time of year.
Yeah. We'll just touch on the World Series because that seems to be like the fall classic as they call it.
Yep. Okay.
Houston Astros at LA Dodgers.
Didn't see that coming.
Kind of a bittersweet, melancholy World Series
Did
for
not
those
see
of
that
us who like
coming.
the Yankees, Siobhan and myself.
Didn't see it coming. Didn't see it coming.
It sucks because
Didn't see it coming. I still didn't see
the
it coming.
Astros don't have any kind of like allure or flair. Or it's kind of like they got the bats. Don't get me wrong, they got the offense and everything. But when I think World Series, I think Yankees, I think Cubs, I think Red Sox,
Looking for
Dodgers.
the allure of history.
Not so much just the
just the
revival
allure.
of some of those relevant names. Because I mean, how long do the Cubs go without even going anywhere? They just
102.
stunk every year. Dodgers haven't gone to the World Series since
87.
early '90s or something like that.
No.
I don't remember.
Since Cubs gets in
Yeah, the Yankees won in '09. They've been to the postseason quite a bit.
20. They won 26, 27 fall classics.
27,
That's
28. I don't know. So 28, I think.
So something that may or may not be notable to you.
Uh-oh.
Tomorrow's World Series Game 1 may be the warmest on record.
Yeah, because it's
something
hardly
like
ever
95
hosted
degrees.
in LA in Game 1.
95 degrees, think it is?
I don't know. We'll see.
Honestly, I would take the Dodgers in 7.
94
I'll take the Dodgers in 7.
Who has home field advantage?
LA.
Dodgers?
Dodgers. The warmest on
Yeah,
record
I-
so far was October
94?
2001 in Phoenix at 94 degrees.
Because it's in a dome.
Could be something notable.
That is notable.
I'm pulling for the Dodgers.
That figures much.
I never want.
I don't know what that means.
President Trump's fault. That's what it means.
I bring up in the splits. I think
Because we can bring up into anything at this point.
Okay, I'm the lone gunman here. I'll say Houston.
Of course you would.
Thank you, Chris.
Gotta be one. But I never root for
Either, and someone told
you gotta root for them though.
No,
you should because
I give them all the credit in the world. They got incredible
but that gives your team more value because they're better.
Yeah, and it took them 7 games to beat my team. So yeah, I give them mad credit. I give them credit. Believe me, to do what they did, and they won all of their home games, lost all the road games. That's going to make you successful.
I'll say
so the Yankees couldn't hit when they were in Houston, but they hit the tar out of the ball in New York.
I say Houston in 6.
I said the Dodgers in 7. I'm giving
You're
Houston
saying
3
7?
games.
You're gonna give him that much credit?
Yeah, because Kershaw's going to blow away in Game 7.
Okay.
That's my opinion. So that being said, let's skip topics.
Can I talk basketball for a second? Just for a second.
Go ahead.
Did you see that broken leg?
I did not.
Oh my God! Thank God you didn't see it.
Tragic because I love the Celtics.
Oh.
Yeah, it hurts because I think they just signed that. Yeah, pardon the pun. I think they just signed that guy. You know,
that's the guy that everyone was after. What was his name? I can't remember his name.
Hayward.
Everyone was after this guy, and he ended up in Boston. And the first game, the first 5 minutes.
No, he's going in the first few minutes.
The first basket attempt he makes.
Terrible.
And the guy breaks his ankle.
It's all right. They're going to be fine. And I'm not saying that because they got Kyrie Irving. I could care less if they have him.
I think it's a career limiting injury.
Not going to be the same.
No.
But he's young enough where he might be able to.
I don't know, man.
You never know because it's basketball. It's a very difficult sport.
That's the good part about it.
You're running back and forth, and you're really, putting a lot of energy forward. And you need your legs, you need your ankles, your knees.
Yeah.
Those are huge injuries for basketball players. I mean, look at D Wade. We've got all the knee injuries. He's not what he is. He's not what he used to be. He's got a bench role with the Cavaliers now. He's not even starting. He's not going to run up and down the court with LeBron.
That comes to the next question. When is when? When is it? When is enough is enough?
He needs the game more than the game needs him. He's got the Brett Favre syndrome. He's hanging around too long. He's going from one team to another.
To keep playing.
Because he thinks he has more to give. We all could go play a couple of games in the season, and then he will just tire out. He just sit on the bench. He's going to do cleanup work or whatever they call that stuff at the end of the game, the mop-up role. At the end of the game.
That's that.
It's like when a football team's leading by 40 points at the end of the game. They're going to put the backup in for the last couple of snaps. I mean, especially if they're just taking a knee. You know what I mean? So that's the role that he's going to have, and he's just going to make money. It's just a paycheck to him now. He's just he's going to market his name and drain it for what it is. And good for him because that's the nature of the industry. I could care less. I'm not a basketball fan. I love the Celtics. I grew up watching them. But when Larry Bird retired, I kind of gave up on it because then it was all about these huge contracts, these shoe commercials, and all this stuff. And it took away from the game. The game is so different now from when I grew up in the 80s. And it's just not as much fun. I mean, you just get advertising shoved down your throat in every direction, whereas you wouldn't have that. We didn't have that when I was a kid. You had a few here and there. I remember Boston Garden had a Polaroid ad on the top of a Bud Light thing.
But these athletes were legends to us. They were like kind of like heroes. They were household names, not though with just marketing. It was, Larry Bird. And, there was something different, like your Isaiah Thomas or even Michael Jordan back then. The
Larry Bird and the Magic Johnson Converse commercials were the best.
Right.
The Converse ads were great. And then Jordan came in with his Nike BS and just, took over. And then the contract thing, the money thing just blew up. And that changed it.
Yeah.
He's an icon. Don't get me wrong, Michael Jordan. He's great and everything. What he did for the sport is immeasurable.
These players are not icons like they once were.
No,
like,
they're a dime a dozen now.
Right. It's not like, okay, everybody, is with
I don't think they even. I think it's less than that because I think the game back then was more spectacular because these guys back then they didn't exercise. They didn't bulk up. They were just
Right.
Like my dad would go to a game, a ball game, and you go home on the train, and the guy playing second base is standing right next to you. Because they were just regular people.
Right, yeah.
That was it. No humongous contracts, no crazy promotion, and advertising.
Those are the superstars. Your Larry Bird, your Julius Erving, your Michael Jordans, the guys that were just regular guys.
They were just right, absolutely right.
Now they're made in the meat lockers over here, and these basketball places, factories of college basketball. which is not an indictment, but
thank you, Metal
Let's give a
Marge.
shout out to Marjorie, who's delivering
Hey,
us coffee
Marge.
during
Hey,
our
Marge.
show. Thank you, Marge. Say hello to
I
everybody.
can smell that.
I smell. You know what?
Thank
The
you.
smell opened my eyes. So we do have nice shots of Cuban coffee.
Or as I like to call it, Metal Marge.
Can I get one over here?
Grazie.
Wait, are
Cheers,
you taking the
everybody.
last one?
Wait, how many did everybody? Oh, you could have the last one.
Yeah, you've had
Oh
a
my
lot
God.
of coffee
I have.
today,
I
Troy.
have. Here, go for it.
Hmm.
Thank you,
Thank
Marge.
you.
Thank
Thank you, Marge.
you.
Thank you,
See how
Marge.
special we get treated.
Metal
around
Marge,
here?
thank you.
She made that herself. She sat in there
Sweet, sweet.
and made
She's-
those
she's on
coffee
the show,
shots
too.
herself. She is. Oh, she is good.
Metal Marge.
I don't think nowadays there's not the same as before.
No, it's just the
No,
way
it's
we
completely different.
the way we look up to them. You know, it's not how it was. Like I said, as kids, they were like when we were kids,
They were gods.
they were role models. It was just there was a different respect
Isn't Charles Barkley
for athletes than there is now.
He ain't won nothing.
Charles Barkley?
He doesn't have a championship.
No, he doesn't.
He's bitter. But you're right,
A little
Joy. Today, it's the way they market these people. It's just completely different now.
Right? Yeah.
That's where the money is.
I mean, granted, the social media and the technology that we have now compared to what they used for advertising things back in the 80s and even before, it's completely different.
Right.
You know, these athletes, LeBron James and all those guys, they're in every single household on the planet.
Mhm.
Whether you like it or not, whether you tuned in or not, he's going to pop up in an ad or a little screen thing's going to pop up and he's going to be there.
Right. Well, that's
Somebody
what I
else
said.
like that.
That's what I said, though, even when it comes to banning the NFL, sponsors of the NFL, let me tell you something. Those sponsors, the products that they are, it's every product you have in your home. You understand? Just like with Procter & Gamble. Do you know how many products they make that are in your home? Good luck trying to ban, you know, that sponsor. But like you said, it's like they're in our home. It's not as kids. They were in our home as far as posters on our walls.
Yeah.
To where
Or when you
now,
put the TV on.
right. But now, you know, they're in our homes. Like you said, it's a form of marketing. You know, you get out a thing of dishwashing detergent and it's got, you know, an athlete's face on it, or, you know,
Readers
that's
or
what it's
something.
turned. Right. You know, it's turned into that. So it definitely has changed.
Yeah. I mean, it like we were saying about, you know, Hayward going down. And he's going to come back, but he's not going to be the same. No, because he's young, you know.
Here's a chance, yes.
And it was as bad as the injury was. It could have been worse. Could have been a lot. Oh, it was totally bad. But it could have been completely like 1,000 times worse.
Yeah. That's the one. And they've been showing it with his leg. Just, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it looks and the same with Jeremy Lin from whatever team he's playing for now. Brooklyn,
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it one
Brooklyn,
time.
Brooklyn?
Someone showed me the video.
He landed on one leg and didn't land.
Did you
right.
see the video?
And-
Yeah, I saw the video. Someone showed it to me.
Imagine sitting on your butt and your feet in front of you, and one of your feet is literally turned around.
It was. No, and that's how it was caught, like on film. And I saw somebody showed it to me, and then like 10 minutes later, I was walking into my room, and I heard the reporter on TV say, "This may not be appropriate. You know, it's not appropriate for TV, so you may want to turn your head." I just couldn't even look. I already saw it. I couldn't look anymore.
Maybe it couldn't have been worse.
Yeah.
It was you.
So what's going on in the NFL?
Oh, switching gears to the NFL now.
Yeah, let's go
Okay.
that way. Okay, let me just start it off to say simply, my team is under what's the word? A revamping.
I can't believe you're being so dramatic.
You tied. It's 30 seconds left. You okay? You know what? Hold the ball.
The Dolphins
hold the
beat the
ball.
Jets. Let's
You
just
hold the
face
ball. You
it.
go into
There's
overtime.
no
You
need to
start
be
over.
so dramatic.
You hold the ball. You start over. You hold the ball overtime. You start over. You throw the ball. You throw the ball.
The guy should have caught the ball instead of one of the Dolphins.
He did. The Dolphin guy caught the ball.
No, I'm talking about the other teamate of his.
He couldn't because the Dolphin guy was in front of him.
The Dolphin guy was his name Flipper.
Laces out. Laces out.
It is. How are you today?
Snowflake, yeah.
Snowflake.
Can we get a dolphin named Lassie?
That's the Ace Ventura reference.
But you don't throw the ball. You hold it. You run out the clock. You don't do that.
Yeah.
That?
That being said, the Jets choked up a 14-point lead late in the fourth quarter against the Dolphins down here in Miami. It seemed as soon as I turned the game on, and believe me, I can't stand either team. I was hoping both teams would lose if it was possible. When I saw the Jets had a 14-point lead with about 8 or 9, 10 minutes
They
to
did,
go.
right. It was
I'm
9 minutes
thinking,
when I
I'm
saw
thinking,
it.
okay, I could walk into work tomorrow and rip all the Dolphin fans for their gigantic mouths for 6 days a week. But no. Now I have to hear those gigantic mouths.
No, wait. I got
6 days a week.
I got
We get this free stuff. You don't pay for them.
Do you know how many times I think that's
I
you
can't
said that?
stand
No,
that.
no, wait. Do you know how many times in this sports segment alone you have said when you have referred to teams that are your favorite, you say my team, us, my team, us.
I say my team.
You say my team, us. Now the second I say we won, who the hell am I?
And if I was speaking as fans, not as me being part of the team.
We won. The Dolphins won.
There's not one person on that team who's going to be at my funeral. Therefore,
My team.
they don't love me.
We won. My team. You're South Floridians. It's like it's our president.
No, so anyway,
It's our team. If you're South Floridian, it's your team.
So anyway, during the game,
not even close.
During the game, Jay Cutler took a massive hit,
multiple cracked ribs,
has several cracked ribs, and his timetable is I think 4 to 6 weeks. And
did you see?
Well, we see more.
You were totally right.
Let me get to it.
You were totally right.
Let me get to it.
I know. He turned me off.
That was his microphone. No, I said this from the get-go.
I'm giving you props.
in there.
That we need
I'm
more.
giving you props. You're
Now,
totally right.
if Adam Gase and company and all the rest of the stooges over there, if they go sign somebody like Tony Romo or something like that, there's going to be intense fan backlash because Matt Moore's going to take a backseat again. This guy has got to play. If I can reference when Drew Bledsoe went down for the New England Patriots by your boy, Mo Lewis.
Yes, I know.
Tom Brady came in, and you never saw Bledsoe again.
No, he did. He
He came in for a couple
side.
of plays. He came in for one play during the Super Bowl. After they won the Super Bowl 0-1, on his way up to Buffalo, on his way to Dallas, on his way to broadcasting, he's done.
Right.
You know what? I'm giving you credit. I told you.
I said this from the jump.
told
But,
you.
no, I think, like you said, you did say this from the jump. And the thing is that the fans out there want more.
They said
of
more. They call
like,
more.
I don't. That every week, that's on social media
It's
when
better
it
than
comes
Tannehill.
to the Dolphins, everybody's begging and pleading. We want more. And it's like, at what point do we say? And when they put him in, he wins these games. So at what point
Do you just do it?
do you do it? Right.
That's the point.
Well, you do it
Your
now.
guy
Same
goes
thing.
down, your backup comes
Right.
in.
Look at
That's
Giants
it.
last week. Let's look at Giants last week. Okay, last week it was predicted that weren't they going against
Last week they went against Denver.
They went against Denver. Okay,
They were
that was
10
a
points
game, right? And now
underdogs?
all of their
11 or
main
12.
players, all of their main players are out
12
injured.
points.
Okay, so they had all their backup players come in. That
All the
game,
wide receivers
receivers
out.
were out,
right?
yeah.
No, you have, and then also Odell Beckham. He's out. Is
Wide receiver.
Right. That's right. Sorry.
Well, all the main guys, Eli Manning was there.
Right, that's what I'm
he's the
saying.
main
Though. But here you have the backup guys come in on a game, that it was predicted for them to lose against the Broncos, and at this point they go in and they win the
guy.
game.
They never trailed. They scored first and had to lead the whole game.
Right, but just it just shows though the difference that can be made. Sometimes are they choosing certain people just because of their names,
But
just
what
because of
a
their
difference a week makes, though.
Right.
Because they just went up and threw up a stinker against Seattle
Right.
yesterday.
Right.
So they gave the fans false hope for 6 days. And Mama Metal's a Giants fan. So
Okay.
I feel for, as much as I love to see them lose,
Mhm.
I feel bad for when they lose. But for me, because they destroyed the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl, I still love when the Giants lose. Or when the Giants beat themselves. Because half of these losses, they beat themselves. Odell Beckham's got a giant mouth. Look at him, broken ankle, whatever it is.
Right.
Cam Newton called out that female journalist. Can't complete a game. Can't do anything right now. Since then.
They've been winning.
And he lost a lot of sponsors and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
Things like that. So I mean, from one week to the next, several things can happen.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They sign guys off the practice squad. They sign guys off the streets. I know a guy from the Steelers was just
Right, yeah.
Or the Falcons last week was signed off the street basically,
Mhm.
and he caught a running touchdown that should have been out of bounds.
Right.
Never heard of the guy before. You know what I mean?
Love those stories.
So it's a great story. And getting back to Matt Moore, this guy has been waiting forever. He's almost wishing Tannehill doesn't come back.
And he's proved himself, though. I just feel that he has gone out there
proved
and he
himself even
has
before
proved
Tannehill
himself.
was
And
here.
I just think, it's just, and again, and then the people, the fans, everybody's more and more and more. Why they won't listen, I don't know. But obviously he does, when he goes out there, he does make a difference. And maybe we do need a little more and
Who
more.
knows the playbook as good as the starting quarterback?
The backup.
Backup.
Right.
And then you sign Cutler for $10 million,
Right.
And him and his cracked ribs are going to sit out after Game 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. I don't. I feel bad for the Dolphin fans as much as I can't stand the team and a handful of Dolphin fans. I do feel bad for them because they have all this potential. They look great on paper, and they fall short every
time. Mm-hmm.
I've been living here 9 years. They have sucked every year except for the 1 year they won the division, and they got beat in the next round.
And it's hard because back in the 80s, the early 80s, like that was our team. That was, Miami Dolphins #1 on the radio.
Huge.
It was huge with Dan Marino and Don Shula. It was
where I live.
Yeah.
You had a running game back then. The only problem back then is you didn't have a running game.
But it was just a different
The
era.
game was different back then.
Yeah.
The passing. John Elway, Dan Marino, those guys, all they did was John Montana, all they did was throw the ball all over the place.
Still had a running game.
Running backs, nobody knew who they were. They blocked half the time.
Well, Tony Nathan had a pretty good touchdown against the Chargers.
What else we got?
It's geez. Well, we could keep going on about the NFL.
You got 2 more minutes. Give it to us. What else you want to talk about for sports? Did you see TLC last night? Did you watch WWE's TLC pay-per-view event last night?
I didn't watch it, but I heard about it.
Yes.
Due to several viral infections among
meningitis. I believe it was
superstars.
meningitis viral infection started by Dallas.
Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas.
They had to shake up the lineup in the matches. The main event originally had Roman Reigns involved in the match, and he was swapped out for none other than Kurt
Angle. Have you watched any of this yet? I watched it.
I read all the results on it. I didn't see it.
Okay. Are you gonna watch it?
I might watch that main event. I do want to see.
It was okay.
I do want to see the AJ Styles match.
Yeah,
Finn Balor.
It was now AJ Styles is one that they did fly in. It was a Raw event.
He wasn't supposed to be there.
He wasn't, and he flew in from Chile because SmackDown.
Bray Wyatt went down with the same viral infection
with the sickness.
that hit Roman Reigns and Bo Dallas.
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 of them that are out, and I believe it's with like a viral meningitis type
Something
issue.
serious, something that's bad enough to sideline them for at least a week or 2.
Yeah, AJ Styles came in. One thing I don't know, I didn't like. I'm not a big 205 Live fan. I'm not. It's not something that I watch regularly. A lot of the matches were 205 Live matches. Asuka came out. She won, of course.
You knew that was going to happen.
I mean, we knew it was that was going to happen. The way they've been, selling her. And then Enzo went up against Kalisto. And then there was another one that I can't remember. There was a few though, like I said, but it just, to me, it just wasn't that interesting.
So one of the best matches was the opener. The warm-up match, Sasha Banks.
Right, yeah. It was Sasha Banks and I can't even think now. I was watching on and off, like I said, we were at the Ale House. But I don't know, it was just I think right now it's gotten to the point WWE goes too far with these pay-per-views. Now it's like every other week.
Well, they have one for each brand.
They do. And then they have the main ones which combine both brands. But last night was interesting. It was okay, but it wasn't anything to...
Sasha Banks defeated Alicia Fox.
However, Kane came out. Kane was out in the main event. That was great. I love Kane.
That was sensational. I really enjoyed that because I've been debuted way back in the 90s.
I'm a Kane, and an Undertaker fan. A lot of people really felt that if Roman Reigns was there, that the Undertaker was going to come out and save the Shields somehow. But of course that didn't happen. Do you ever foresee
They're saving him for Survivor Series?
I was going to ask you that. Do you foresee the Undertaker at least making one more appearance?
My wrestling insider on the Chris Metal Radio show, Mr. Kenny from Blockbuster, he told me he's given me the Taker is said to be coming back at least for one match at Survivor Series. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. I really don't know what side of the aisle he's going to be on. They might have something with him and Kane going against Roman Reigns or something like that. But with Roman Reigns out right now, you really don't know where the storylines are going to go.
Yeah.
They might put that off to WrestleMania because I think certain part-time superstars that are kind of getting towards the end of their careers, the most likely time they're going to return for a match is WrestleMania.
Right. And they also, it's usually WrestleMania. But there was a switch up last night on the main event. It was Kane, The Miz, and then Sheamus and Cesaro against
the Shield, or what we thought was going to be the Shield.
What we thought was going to be the Shield. But towards the end of the match, Kane actually got into it with Braun Strowman, and it was The Miz, Kane, Cesaro, and Sheamus threw Braun Strowman in a garbage dumpster, and the garbage dumpster takes off with him in it. But it was just funny how they made him turn, like that was a part of their group, However, at one point, Braun Strowman does turn against Kane in there, and everybody threw him in the garbage dumpster. And maybe
it'll be interesting to see what they do with Kane. Especially with the superstars that are out, because Samoa Joe's still out. He's out from injury. He's not infected with this virus, thank God. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen with him being a part-time wrestler. He was supposed to.
He's running for mayor also. I think it's believable, like Knoxville,
we were talking
Tennessee.
about that on the show, Knoxville County,
right?
Somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's coming back on wrestling, does that indicate that he lost? Or is he trying to build popularity to get more votes? We don't know what the angle is.
But being Kane the wrestler, could that gain you popularity as far as for a political position?
When he was corporate Kane a year or two ago, he came out with a suit and tie on, he has short hair. The hair is just a wig,
right?
And the Kane mask and the whole thing,
right?
So he's just acting.
Yeah,
as he's not coming out. It's like, hey, I'm running for mayor with the big, red lights on and the smoke, but he's not carrying the sign. He's running for mayor.
But he's coming out as a heel, though.
Exactly. He makes a better heel than a good guy. He was a good guy. He was a pushover. Every match he was in was a squash match. But he makes a great heel. I hope he sticks around for the long haul.
I do.
Because I think he'll make a better wrestler than so is Goldust. He's still there.
I love Goldust.
And he's still very entertaining.
I just said, like, if Goldust is going to be at WrestleMania this year, like I said, I'm going to WrestleMania dressed as Goldust.
And he makes a better heel. He makes a better heel than a good guy. He really does.
I love Goldust. I think that he's one of my faves.
And really quickly, I wanted to touch on an NHL topic that we have an expansion team out in Las Vegas. The first pro team, they call the Las Vegas Golden Knights, or better said, the Vegas Golden Knights. They jumped out to a 6-1-0 division record, which is absolutely amazing for an expansion team.
Mm-hmm.
They have a great coach who is a former Florida Panthers coach, Gerard Gallant. Incredible hockey team. These guys got incredible potential. And they're coming to play the Panthers later on in the season on a Friday night, which I plan on going. They have the coolest jersey in hockey that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Logo. This team's got potential. I want to see what's going to happen with them.
Okay, let's check them out when they come to South Florida and play the Panthers. Yep. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and take a break right now. So when we come back, we've got odd news that didn't happen, and God knows what else. So make sure you stay tuned to Now Trending right here on 24/7 Miami Radio.
Miami. Wee! Wahoo!
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hey, it's the guys from the couch, and we're coming to you now live on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock with your favorite segments like Simple Jack and
W. Dubai Knows It All.
Catch us every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. live on 247miami.tv.
We talk about sports and other things. Like what? W eating chips. I can't put these chips down.
247miami.tv.
The couch.
Hello, everyone. This is Drew from Now Trending. And usually I'm driving the bus in the show, keeping it from riding off on the rails. Every Monday from
4 to 6
on 247miami.tv.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy from The Roy O Show. Just letting you know, guess what? The Roy O Show, it's back, baby. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be Prosper, O, and yours truly covering everything. Sports, TV, entertainment, comics, Walking Dead, you name it, we're talking about it. Join us this Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m.
Only on 247miami.tv.
It's Now Trending. Make sure you catch a new episode every Monday from
4 to 6
on 247miami.tv.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday.
Join me, Siobhan, every Sunday for the latest episode of Day by Day. From Alzheimer's Awareness Month to International Big Day, find out what's happening this week and how these observances got started.
Each day.
Because each day counts.
Day by day, by day,
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Roy from The Roy O Show. Just letting you know, guess what? The Roy O Show, it's back, baby. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be Prosper, O, and yours truly covering everything. Sports, TV, entertainment, comics, Walking Dead, you name it, we're talking about it. Join us this Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m.
Only on 247miami.tv.
Out trending every Monday from
4 to 6.
on 247miami.tv.
This is Chris Metal here for Now Trending, coolest show on 247miami.tv. Join us every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Joey Canizero, your host, Drew Dawkins, Siobhan, and Chris Metal. Every Monday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern on 247miami.tv.
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hi, this is Harley Quinn, and you're on 24/7 Miami. Wee! Wahoo! Whoopee! Yay! 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 Hiya, this is Harley Quinn, and you're on 24/7 Miami. Wee! Wahoo! Whoopee! Yay! Yay! Yay!
You're listening to 24/7 Miami Radio.
Hey, it's the guys from the couch, and we're coming to you now live on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock with your favorite segments like Simple Jack and
W. Dubai Knows It All.
catch us every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. live on 247miami.tv.
We talk about sports and other things. Like what? W eating chips. I can't put these chips down.
247miami.tv.
The couch.
Hello, everyone. This is Drew from Now Trending. Usually I'm driving the bus in the show, keeping it from riding off on the rails. Every Monday from
4 to 6
on 247miami.tv.
You have unlimited amount of lives, unlimited opportunities to solve your own murder.
Happy Death Day with 9.4 million and 40.6 million overall. Number 2.
The Senate committee will now hear from Jacob Lawson, Climate ISS Chief Coordinator. May the record reflect that he was nearly 1 hour late.
Yeah, sorry about that. I literally had to fly in from outer space.
Geostorm with 13.3 million. And number 1.
Hey, partner, I got this sister of mine that I've been wanting dead for a long time. You think you can help me with that?
Tyler Perry's Boo 2, a Medea Halloween with 21.6 million. Opening this week.
Sorry for his loss.
Life? Yeah, I guess he probably is too.
Suburbicon. A home invasion rattles a quiet family town. Starring Matt Damon, Julianne Moore, and Oscar Isaac.
Is it our bond that you're going to take care of me?
No. It makes me feel special.
All I See Is You. A blind woman's relationship with her husband changes when she regains her sight and discovers disturbing details about themselves. Starring Blake Lively, Jason Clarke, and Anna O'Reilly.
This was so much fun, so thank you. This is the last time we will be seeing each other.
Crash Pad. A hopeless romantic who thinks he's found true love with an older woman learns that she's married and that the fling is merely an instrument of revenge against her neglectful husband. Starring Nina Dobrev, Domhnall Gleeson, and Christina Applegate.
We're back here now trending on 24/7 Miami Radio. Where do I know this tune from?
I use it as a
Huh? Is it? Yeah, I hear this one though. I've heard
It's your theme song.
It sounds like the theme to Card Sharks, that game from back in the 80s.
Is it? But it's also where?
Our theme song.
No, at the beginning.
I know it from somewhere.
It's like the Friends theme song, something like that. Yeah,
I know we have all kinds of stuff. So that was box office hits for this week. Moving on to news that didn't happen. So again, this is a roundup of some of the most popular but completely untrue headlines of this week.
President Trump likes to call it fake news.
Yes, correct. It is. We'll just call it news that didn't
it's
really
fake
happen
news.
though.
It's fake
However,
news.
moving on to not real news, fake news, as Chris and President Trump would say. So here we start off with, and again, these are stories that have been heavily posted over the past week with lots of people arguing and fighting over all these stories that really didn't happen. So again, an illegal alien has been charged with California wildfires that killed 40 people. The facts: a homeless man from Mexico was arrested on suspicion of arson Sunday in California, but a Sonoma County Sheriff's official says the fire doesn't appear to be linked to the wildfires that have killed dozens. Sergeant Spencer Crum tells the Associated Press that the blaze was a small fire in a park that was quickly put out. Several websites have sought to connect the man to the California wine country fires. Acting U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director Thomas Homan says in a statement that the agency issued detainers against the Mexican citizen, calling the charge troubling, especially in light of the massive wildfires already devastating the region. So again, this Mexican immigrant was not responsible for these California wildfires.
For all of them, maybe one of them.
For all of them. No, he was just responsible for a small park fire. Not funny, however.
No.
But that's what's been going on, and as far as there's been lots of people who have been placing the blame on the Mexican immigrant man.
Not surprised.
Move on to not real.
Wow.
Look at the look that Chris just gave Drew.
Wow.
Moving on to not real
He likes
news.
to play that race card. You know what I mean?
You know, they take their jobs. They want I can't tell you.
Wow.
Moving on again to not real stories. Pope Francis absolves 2,000 pedophile priests. No arrests necessary. The facts: a story that was published in May that recirculated last week from conspiracy theory outlet Your Newswire says Pope Francis announced that over 2,000 pedophile priests will not face criminal prosecution and may be absolved by the Vatican. Francis acknowledged to reporters on May 13th that the Vatican has a 2,000 case backlog in processing clerical sex abuse cases, but said church was bringing in more staff to handle the cases. Francis denied on the same day ever agreeing to a request for clemency from a pedophile priest. So again, not true. Leave my priest alone.
You're a priest
Shouldn't your
now.
priest leave you alone?
Listen, let's not speak of our
Say that
president.
about rabbis. Watch what happens.
Thank you.
Or imams.
Thank
you.
you.
Hey, but everyone's got their own deal going on there.
I do. Yeah,
the
you're not
Catholic Church
exploited.
gets a bad rap.
They
but
do.
Real news are not, because of a handful of priests and cardinals in the past couple of decades.
But like you said,
things are coming
say
out.
a rabbi, you know what? Like really, and I
It's going to be racial or slanderous
Yeah.
in some way, you know.
Well, no one's complained yet.
They're all liberal.
Moving on to our last story in not real news. This New Zealand town will give you a home and a job for $165,000. Has anyone seen this and started packing up their stuff?
Wait, there was something about. There's something to that, but what is it?
We're gonna get to the facts.
That's.
You had your bags packed, didn't you?
Yeah.
And the family's ready to go to New Zealand.
Are you sure this
I'm
is
ready to go.
odd fake news?
Huh?
Are you sure this is odd fake
This is
news?
fake news. Yeah.
No, but I've heard.
I know you've heard it because it was published all week by people all over online. But let's hear the facts.
Say the facts.
The facts. The New Zealand town of Katangata has a population of 800 and lots of vacant jobs, but isn't offering any money or employment to entice people to move there. Real estate agents in the rural area offered to sell new residents a house and land for about $165,000 last year. But some outlets have falsely reported the town planned to pay residents that amount and give them a new career to move there. So again, the town has tried to clear up confusion with the post on its website. But again, they are not. They were offering houses and land
Yeah. I think
for $165,000, but they're not offering you
Like a lot of land.
$165,000.
like acres and acres.
What kind of jobs are available there?
Sheep herding,
I
grass clipping,
mean, there's
a
only
lot of grass
800
clipping,
people. Like, what
Right.
kind of
rock
industry?
moving with the rocks.
Well, we know media production, I'm sure, is not one of them, but
Yeah, hey, they need radios out there. They need radio stations.
they do. Maybe we should take a look at
Let's all go.
Trending all the way out there.
But what kind of house and how kind of house and how much land do I get for
You
$165,000?
probably get a good. You probably get 3.2.
Is it U.S. currency?
Yeah.
You don't know what the exchange rate is for that area, do you?
It's got to be 4 to a zillion or something.
Oh, poor New Zealand.
No, I mean, 4
I
people
would
out
move to
there.
New Zealand. When I went to Hawaii, there was lots of residents from New Zealand that visit Hawaii.
It's not that far.
Yeah, it's not that far. So
Ain't that close?
Probably swim.
it actually is. It's not that far. You have lots of Australians.
No, it's like the flight to Hawaii is like 8 hours, isn't it?
From Australia and New Zealand.
From
From
LA.
here.
Oh no! Oh, from LA. Yeah, from LA, it's like 8 hours.
Oh my God.
It is. Yeah, it was 6 hours. It was 6 hours. It was the flight from here. I flew from here to Phoenix. That was probably about 9 hours with the layover, and then it is the direct flight from Phoenix to Honolulu, 6 hours.
We can't take a non-direct flight.
Well, obviously. Thanks, Siobhan. There's a whale that sits out in the ocean, or you can refuel. But it actually is a long flight, though, like you said, from like LA to Phoenix, going into
it's
Honolulu.
longer to go from there to Hawaii than from here to LA.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. But as far as, like I said, New Zealand and Sydney, I mean, New Zealand and Australia is not that far.
From Hawaii.
Yeah. And Japan, too.
Oh, I got these huge bugs over there. I'm not crazy about that.
Oh,
Look at huge bugs here, Jason.
No.
Wait. The bugs
Then there's a
here.
town.
Mosquitoes the size of like black crows.
But there's a town over in Australia that like every couple of years, like the rats take over. Oh no.
Are you living out in the safari? What is it called?
Bush?
In the bush.
The outback.
The outback.
No. I don't need bugs to take off my clothing.
So moving on to odd news. So this is news that's true. However, it's just extremely odd. Over in Tampa, Florida, I get the greatest stories out of Florida. I think there's the best odd news comes out of
I
Florida.
love that city. I got to see it twice.
So, again, over in Tampa, Florida, the attorney for a 72-year-old Florida man who was convicted in a tax scheme is using obesity to try to keep his client out of prison.
What?
Yes. Curtis Fallgatter wrote in a court filing on Monday that Stephen Donaldson Sr. doesn't have an average man's life expectancy because he's 5'9" and weighs 273 pounds. For that reason, the attorney wrote, it's not right to make him serve 6 years and 4 months in prison. Fallgatter wrote that the prison term could translate to 61% of Donaldson's remaining time on Earth. The Tampa Bay Times reports Donaldson was sentenced last week in Tampa for his part of peddling an offshore tax shelter that cost the IRS an estimated $10 million. So again, I love the headline. It just says convicted tax schemer is too fat for prison.
You know why he's too fat? Because he ate up all that money he had.
He did. He was getting some really good steak and lobsters.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Was there a time you were facing prison and your defense attorney didn't hold that defense up?
I like Drew's chances in prison.
Yeah, a lot better than this guy.
But you know what? It's funny though, because obesity is actually starting to play a huge part when it comes to legal issues and sentencing, such as death row, such as the death sentence we just saw what was the states that were involved before? Last year we spoke of it highly. And it was a few stories we did on the topic, but it was when what state was it? Ran out of the medicine.
Was it Georgia?
I wasn't Georgia. It was another state. However, though, they still had so many people.
Arkansas,
or was it Virginia?
Alabama.
Was it Virginia? But there were so many people on death row. However, you had one who they were trying to get off of death row, which using obesity was the main claim. To not because they were saying the medicine wouldn't go into him correctly.
Or they couldn't find a vein.
They couldn't find a vein.
Yeah.
However, they did go ahead with the execution. He's dead now, and there was
Where's
no
the question though?
issues.
How do you get fat in prison?
You know how long he was on death row?
7-Eleven in the yard.
Thank you. Here's the thing: like this guy was on death row for over 10 years. Okay, he really was like over 300 and something pounds. How does that happen? How does that work?
If anything, you would lose weight because the food it can't be like.
I can see you're sitting around, but they're not feeding you steak, lobster, and potatoes
or
all day.
Twinkies.
Right. Unless
You
you
know?
get a lot of commissary money. I don't know if someone's
Still, they don't have a store open in there. You
Breaking
can
the
buy
food in there.
Readers
But
and
to
stuff.
sit there, like
It was
to
Texas.
be
It was
like
Texas.
it was Texas, right? But to be like over 300 pounds plus in prison, and you've been on death row for over 10 years, like how does
Maybe
that
he was-
physically happen?
Maybe he was like 280.
He
going
just
in.
ate and didn't do anything.
No, you.
He got
Wait,
too-
you're
he
not
got-
eating like good fatty food. That I mean, I just wouldn't
we
think that
don't know.
you
I
could
don't
just
know. I
become.
don't know what the dinner is. Maybe he got food from other people because he was a boss.
He was on death row though.
I'm going to use this reference. Have you guys seen the movie Chicago?
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
The play?
One with Queen Latifah.
No.
Catherine
The play.
Zeta-Jones.
The play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I've heard of it.
The musical.
Yeah, the musical.
Yes.
Well, there's a part that in prison, all the women, they get all these luxurious things, and they always want to know how they did it. There's a saying, and there's a part in the song that says, "If you're good to mama, mama will be good to you." So there's someone in there that's sneaking a couple of stuff in there. So maybe that's what it is.
This is totally off point, but you know how like women get to do their makeup in prison? Like when you watch these documentaries, you know how they're all made up? You know what they use?
No.
Colored pencils. They take the lead out of the colored pencils and chop it up and mix it with water, and they use it for. I learned it on prison shows.
How'd you know? How'd you know? Well,
Because I watch a lot of Discovery.
Are you sure you did?
You look familiar.
Can we talk about panda sex now?
Wow. Not even subtle.
Prison to panda sex.
Not prison sex, boys and girls.
Panda sex. Bring it, Siobhan.
Is there
Bring on your
difference?
panda sex stories.
Is there a difference?
Okay, so zookeepers at Berlin Zoo are hoping to cure a young female panda's habit of walking backwards by introducing her to sex.
Cue the porn music, Drew.
Oh, I wish I had. Oh,
They plan to introduce 4-year-old
get 2 of these stories
Mei
at a time.
to Zhao Qing, a panda 3 years her senior, in the hope that romance will help her with the frustrations associated with life in captivity that could be part of her habit.
And guess what magazine's going to feature it? You guessed it, Playboy.
Mei Mei is in puberty currently, and her keepers say that her reverse walk may be a protest against things she dislikes, such as the food or her caretakers. The two bears are a major attraction at the zoo's $10 million Chinese compound, inaugurated by Chancellor Angela Merkel and President Xi Jinping in July. Giant pandas in captivity are kept apart except for during mating season, which occurs between February and May. Thank you, Chris. By mating season, she will have reached her sexual maturity, her energy on seducing her. So let's hope she breaks her bad habit of.
Why do we have to take a poor little innocent panda and
She's not going to be innocent anymore.
No.
Now, let me ask you. They stick a camera in there. What's the sponsor on the back? Like, what ad do they have on the wall?
Panda Express.
We both said it.
I was thinking like Astroglide or something like that. You know what I mean?
No, Panda Express. If Toys R Us is going to sponsor the giraffe,
The giraffe, the birthing giraffe. I was thinking that the other day. We were all focused for a
Not all of us.
Lots of us were focused on this birthing giraffe, and like
6 months old now.
right? I mean, now it's
got an
gone.
alert on my phone the other
Did
day
you?
that he turned 6 months old.
Sean's following. He's 6 months. Let's
One
see.
person's following now.
I think that's awesome. But I was just thinking about it the other day, how lots of us, we even sat even on the show waiting for that giraffe to be born.
Did.
And odd news, again, over in West Palm Beach, Florida. Leave it to Florida.
Oh, great.
Officials say a 22-year-old son of a Florida sheriff's lieutenant took his father's unmarked car and used it to pull over his ex-girlfriend and new boyfriend.
That's interesting.
Local news outlets report that Christopher Combs, who is a cadet in the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, where his father also works, used flashing red and blue lights to stop the vehicle Saturday night. He ordered the boyfriend to get out of the vehicle. Investigators later found that the father's car parked outside the home of his son's friend. Sheriff spokeswoman Terry Barbara told the Sun Sentinel, "The son has been fired, effective right now." I mean, with exclamation points. Combs was ordered to stay away from the couple and released on bond. He faces multiple charges, including impersonating a law enforcement officer. Documents do not list an attorney at this time.
That
You can't
nuts.
do that. You can't.
You
I
can't.
don't
You sure?
understand why some people feel it's okay to do this, that they have some type of power to do this.
Because he's hateful. He's
But you
upset.
can't do it. And I'm going to say a quick story. And it was involving my divorce. No, because here my ex-husband is good friends with the Florida Highway Patrol officer who he had follow me over 10 years ago, and then really thought that anything that this FHP officer reported was going to be admissible in court. We walk into court. He comes in with the FHP officer. And I mean, you know what? The court reamed this FHP officer a new rear end hole. It was, I mean, in seconds, because again, the judge was like, who do you think you are using your power, as an FHP officer? He followed me to my sister's baby shower at Dave & Buster's. I had no idea. But until I went into court that this person was following me, but it just felt really good that this judge reamed into him and said, and he was off duty. But then when he wanted to come into court, he felt that he can come in as an FHP officer and say, like, I went to Dave & Buster's and celebrated my sister's baby shower. But she did. In court, it fell apart in their faces. But you can't do that. You can't abuse
Why would he?
Because he thought that he was above and beyond the law, I guess.
Oh, he's trying to catch you doing something?
Yeah. So my ex-husband had him following me, and then he thinks he's Mr. FHP. So he was actually following me, and they showed up to court together, to say, like, she was here and there. And like I said, the judge just flipped out on him.
Absolutely.
She just went and she said, "You're lucky I don't call your commander." She's, you're lucky. So you better, take this as a lesson. But, you just can't do that.
I've been told that we found the Panda sex music.
Did you?
No.
Is it called Panda Express?
No, we have to change it because we don't want to get sued. I mean, you hear this music when you go into Panda Express, but you're going to be playing it when they show the clip.
I'm not going to be able to walk into a Panda Express now without thinking of Panda Sex.
After you hear this song, you'll never hear another song when you walk in there.
No, you're not going
to. Hurry up. Ron's got another story.
I got another great story.
Yeah, baby, how you doing? Good to see you. Come here, husband.
Okay.
Dude, Isaac Hayes' voice. Come on, dude.
I can't laugh too hard.
And now, I know I've done several stories on KFC, but they are genius when it comes to marketing.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to space. That's pretty remarkable.
And we talked about their merchandise line. So now someone has noticed that KFC only follows 11 people on Twitter.
Yeah. It's not on Instagram. Yeah, go ahead.
So why? First of all, who are these people? They follow the 5 former Spice Girls and 6 guys named Herb. So
I was going to say 11 herbs and spices.
So this is 11 herbs and spices. So there you go.
I love the Spice Girls. That's one I like the most.
The Spice Girls. And just 6 random guys named Herb. So if you're not being
awesome.
followed, then you didn't make the cut, Herb.
Wow. Good for them.
But what's funny, I have to say, when I was covering the story of the KFC launching into space, I did notice on their Twitter feed that they only followed 11 people, but I didn't really look into who those 11 people were.
One of them is a former Miami King.
But didn't they like your post on the space? Wasn't it
They
KFC
did.
that actually liked your post?
We're still waiting on the
Twitter.
free chicken sandwiches too
I
that
know.
we were expecting. We're still waiting for them.
Yeah, but they actually like the post. But I think it's funny, like even then, so there's someone still paying attention,
Oh,
even
yeah.
though they actually
They
have
should have sent us like
Well,
something.
they post
you know?
stuff. They post stuff out on
We
Twitter.
said we got somebody named Urban here. And he's pretty spicy. You know?
Herb Metal?
And his 5 sisters.
Uncle Herb.
And his 5 sisters.
Absolutely.
Spice Girls.
I got a couple of on this day in history if we have a moment.
Sure, take the last moment.
Oh, unless
And
you have
time's
something
up.
else.
On day of history, it is. Time's up, though. But go ahead.
1983, the U.S. Embassy in Beirut hit by a massive car bomb.
Truck.
In the year 42, Brutus commits suicide, and we all know Brutus killed Julius Caesar.
Yep.
So I thought that would be pretty noteworthy. And from the music world, 1976, Chicago has its first #1 hit with "If You Leave Me Now."
Oh, good
Great
song.
group.
Yep. And legendary entertainer Johnny Carson was born on this day, 1925.
Wow, you know how many people probably do not know? Do you know who Johnny Carson is, Angie?
Just text him.
Again. No, yeah, but I'm just saying, it's just funny how as we get older, the world is changing, and people who were once so known, like I said, to like new generations, just don't know who Johnny Carson is, or they'll just never have those experiences. I'm sorry, Angie, that you had to miss Johnny Carson. She's like, so what? I don't feel I missed anything. With that being said, we're going to end our show this week. We will be back next week on 24/7 Miami Radio. This is Now Trending. We'll be back at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at 247miami.tv, also on facebook.com/Now Trending 247, as well as Twitter at Now Trending 247. Hope you all enjoyed the show this week. Have a great week, everybody. We are signing off. Just have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We'll do the cut it out.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Miami. Wee! Wahoo!